We're going to get into some Super Bowl 60 props. Can't wait to do that. Also going to recap the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship. Also, I'm sure we'll talk about some other stuff too, and maybe a little history lesson you can see on the screen here. We'll get into that as well. Before we do, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store, and we have our own theme song now. You can get this shirt as well as many others at the merch store. November is Sloth Month. Yes, I wore the shirt yesterday, but I'm not some fancy guy who wears different shirts every day. But you can get these shirts as well as everything else at 15% off. You can change the colors of the shirts. You can get long sleeve hoodie, infant onesie, women's tank top, and other stuff. We have our mugs. We have our famous apron. We have some baseball caps. We're going to have a lot more in the coming weeks. So this is a way to support us. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, where I made fun of these funny people on the book cover. So you can get that as well as my first book, which is A Safety and a Field Goal, which is a top 5 topic book about the NFL. Mostly serious stuff, but some fun stuff too. And please consider super chats and super stickers. That's the best way to support the show. We had $21 in super chats from Kevin Kovac yesterday. Thank you so much, Kevin. Once again, really appreciate it. Again, like if you guys want to keep the show going, that's the way to do it, because Q1 is the worst quarter for ad rates. It's pretty pathetic, honestly. So we could really use your help here. All right, we're joined by Andy Iskoe from thelogicalapproach.com. Andy, how are you? How was your championship Sunday?
I'm doing well, Walt. Championship Sunday was very good. I think I got, there are only 4 plays, but I think I hit both sides and totals.
Nice.
But my best play of the weekend was the over in that Seattle Rams game, which is kind of an interesting game. It went over, yet nobody scored in the fourth quarter. In fact, nobody scored in the fourth quarter of both games.
That's true. Oh, at least there's a wintry blizzard in the first game, so there's an excuse there. Second game,
that one handicapped to me. I was surprised because we all knew we didn't. I don't think we knew about the snow or certainly the extent of it that we saw in the second half. But we knew it was going to be very cold and windy, and yet that line went up. I think. Let me see what I had it here as. That line opened at 40.5 and closed at 43, which I thought was a very surprising move, especially given the limited or non-existent previous playoff experience prior to this year of either quarterback, and no prior playoff experience for Stidham. Right. So I did not understand the move. I could understand it up to 41, which is a key number, but I really couldn't see it going higher than that. I thought 41 would have been a number where people would have thought, now 40.5 is not a good number to play under. 41 is. Okay? Yes, if I remember my numbers on total, I think it's 41, 44, and then it might be like 38 or something like that. I forget what the numbers were. I do a study every year, so I could look it up if we need to. But I was surprised that total went up. I was not surprised that the NFC total went down, because I thought that number – it opened 47.5, went to 46.5, and I actually thought that the 47.5 was a good number, but given the offensive ability of Matthew Stafford and the Rams, and the potential, because Seattle and Darnold had a lot of turnovers this year that could have set up the Rams for more touchdowns, I thought that would be the higher scoring game, and that one, I won't say it was never in doubt, but the score, let me see, the score at halftime in that one was 17-13, so you were, well more than that. You almost, not quite, but almost 2/3 of the way there with a half to go, and they got that all in the third quarter. And then I did play the Broncos plus the points against the Patriots, so we were fortunate to avoid a late field goal in that game that could have made it a 6-point spread margin. And I think I mentioned I liked Seattle last week. It turned. The line turned out to be pretty good, 2.5, and it's a 4-point game. Mm-hmm. But there were some decisions there. We can talk about it when we get to going over that game and whether or not McVay made the right decision to go. What was it, 4th and 4?
Yeah,
and he went for first down instead of the field goal that would have made it 31-30.
So you would have gone for the field goal then. Evan and I discussed that on
I would have gone for the field goal for the simple reason that number one, if you make where was the ball? It was on like the 14-yard line or something. 4th and 4.
I thought it was on the 6-yard line.
Oh, maybe it was closer. Okay. Yeah. The point is that if they went for it and missed the field goal for some reason, if they made it and then missed the field goal, you still need a touchdown. If you make the field goal, which is almost a gimme at that distance, because there was no weather or anything involved there up in Seattle, then it's a 3-point game, and all you need is a field goal to win the game, assuming you hold them. Remember, I believe both teams had all 3 timeouts. I know the Rams. I'm pretty sure the Rams did. So it seemed to me that had they gone for it and missed it, they still would have been in position to win, but they would have needed a touchdown. As it turns out, that's what they needed because it was a 4-point spread because they went for the 4th down and didn't make it. So, by the way, I'm just going to ask you, since I know you and Evan both like to do these, did you end up laddering and losing on the total points entering the 4th quarter or late 3rd quarter?
We didn't ladder the points. We laddered the quarterback yardage for both quarterbacks.
Okay, how'd that one do?
Well,
I was thinking because of the fact that nobody scored in that 4th quarter, so they had the 31. They had 58 points after 3 quarters, and they probably would have. I'm guessing they probably would have had some totals for the game at that point. 58? They probably would have had like 65.5 or something, or maybe 67.5 or 68.5. So there could be 10 points or more scored.
Yeah, so we completed the ladder in Stafford. So I think the 325 plus, which we bet at halftime, I think it was
that was as high as it got. That was the top of the ladder.
You could have gone to 350 and 375.
Oh, okay.
I only went to. I did I think 263.5 was his
pregame.
No, at halftime that was his actual line. Minus 110. And then I took 300 plus at I think like 3-1 and 325 plus at around 6-1. And so we completed that. We completed the whole thing because he had 374 yards. With Darnold, he hit his natural number, the minus 110. But then we also did 350 plus and 375 plus. We did not hit either of those, so it was break even. We were 4 yards shy of 350. It was 346. So that was very.
Now,
close.
by the way, I think I know the answer, but because someone asked me the question, I wasn't sure. Do they take sack yardage off of rushing yardage for quarterbacks rushing? I don't think they do, because in the official stats they do not count. I don't think they count a sack as a rush. I think they count it as a separate category. They do. In other words, when I every week I get all the data. I go to the NFL website and I go to their game book. You're familiar with the game book?
Yes.
That's the total comprehensive stats. It shows play-by-play, quarter-by-quarter breakdowns as far as the individual stats, things like that. And they normally show, for example, rush attempts, let's say 35. Quarterback attempts, let's say 25, okay? And then they'll show times sack attempting to pass. They'll show 3. So that's 35 plus 25, which is 60, plus 3 is 63. Then when you take a look at the total number of plays, it shows up as 63. So sacks are included separately, and they are not included in the rushing yards. And we do have Michael in here just saying, no, only in college. In college, I guess they call it sacks, but they come off rushing yardage. And it kind of makes a little bit more sense because I don't know why it comes off of gross passing yardage because there's no passing involved.
Right.
But in other words, if Darnold passes for 360 and he's sacked and loses 25 yards, the net passing yards is what 335, I guess. 25, yeah. But his statistics show he passed for 360. So they use the gross number, but when they come down to net total yards for a game, the sacks come off the passing yardage, which to me doesn't make any sense. But in effect, they are yards lost. In other words, if you're first and 10 and you get sacked for a 7-yard loss and you're second and 17, you have to account for those 7 yards being lost somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
technically, it's not a rush because he's not trying to rush.
Right.
Okay?
I guess they're just trying to measure how many yardage is gained totally. When they're trying to pass. So I guess it makes sense. But as far as rushing yardage in the NFL for quarterbacks, it is not taken off for the most part.
No. Rushing yards is not sacking. In other words, if Drake May rushes 2 times for 10 yards, and is sacked for 5 yards, his rushing yardage is 10.
Right. That's usually the case. Now, if they deem that he was running, like if it was a designed run play, and he's sacked and he's not sacked, but the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, they will count that as a rushing attempt, loss of like 5 yards. And that actually happened in the one play in that Denver New England game where, I don't know if you remember, Ramondre Stevenson slipped on the field and May had to pounce on the ball and he took a 3-yard loss. That was actually a negative 3-yard run for Drake May. That's what it went down on. And I know that because...
Which is interesting because it should have been a loss for Stevenson and a fumble recovery for May with 0 yards on the return or either way.
Yeah, I wish it was the case because I bet Drake May over 68.5 rushing yards and he finished with 65. He finished with 66. And had he not taken that 3-yard loss, I would have won the bet. Yeah. So,
so they did. So they did show that as a.
It was a negative 3-yard run. Yeah.
I'll see. I want to check how they recorded it in the play-by-play.
I could tell you it was.
Do you remember?
I remember the play vividly because I was looking live at it.
I'm going to say, do you remember? Do you remember in what quarter that was?
I think it was the fourth quarter. They were. Oh, Andy's gone. It was. They were backed up on their like 10-yard line or 12-yard line. It was like deep in their own territory, and they went for it, and I mean Stevenson fell down, and it was to count as a negative 3-yard run. I think it was like 66 here to show you guys. So 65, finished 65. So I think it was 67.5 that it was over. So the 3-yard loss was so brutal. Like when it happened, I'm like, this is gonna come back to bite us, isn't it? And then like, of course, he gets to 68, and we take the 3 yards on the kneel down, and that's it for us. So the first game was so brutal. All right, Andy's back. Andy,
I accidentally hit the close tab instead of the add new tab.
Okay.
I was actually trying to actually restore what I had from. Let me see here.
Yeah, so I was saying it was in the fourth quarter. They were backed up on like inside their own 20, and May fell down, and I knew it was going to hurt us, and it did. And he got 68 yards, and then he took 3 kneel downs at the end. I remember that. I took this. It was a big loss, so I remember it clearly.
Oh, so was it at the end of the game? Or are you talking about the 3 kneel downs separately at the end of the game in addition to the...
Yeah, because he got to 68, which was over 66.5, I think, whatever it was. 60,
right.
Maybe it was over 65.5. I think it was exactly 3 that ended up biting us. If he didn't take that 3-yard loss, we would have won the bet. And so I was so angry after that game. Like I was like barely talking during dinner. I told Evan this on Sunday. No, the second game more than made up for it because on top of laddering Stafford and Darnold, we also pregame. I bet Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold to combine for 650 yards, I believe, or 650 at 10-1, and we hit that.
What did it end up at?
It was 374 plus 346. So that is.
Oh, so it was a little over 700 then. Okay.
Yeah, 720. So the 700 hit as well. I think the 675 plus was 14-1. I was looking at that one as well. But yeah, 650 hit. That was very nice to get the 10-1, and then we hit the Stafford ladder. So that more than made up for whatever we lost in Denver, New England. Which is weird because I had the correct side in Denver, but I did not have the correct side with the Rams. So you would think that I would have lost more with the second game, but it was the opposite. It's funny how that works. No, and we did. I don't know if you remember. I was asking you what I would do for like the middle or the hedge for my exactas. I ended up just betting
Right.
Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up just betting Denver plus 3.5 to try to middle it, and it worked out perfectly because
Yeah.
we hit the bet, and New England won, and so everything went well in that regard. So
Okay. Yeah. Let me. I'm going to go see because I've got it up right now. The play-by-play. So let me go down to that fourth quarter just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? Fourth quarter.
It was like toward the beginning of the fourth quarter, I think.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me just see here. Okay,
I
first
remember
quarter, second
they're driving
quarter,
left and right. They're
third
driving left and
quarter,
right.
fourth quarter. Okay. Denver brought New England. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they're showing. Okay, I guess it was. Okay. Stevenson for 11 yards, Stevenson for 2 yards, Stevenson for 4 yards. Shotgun, May sacked at the New England 30, and then a punt. So that wasn't the possession.
No.
Let me see. Then there was the next one. So now we're at about 4:42.
Maybe no. It was they were like deep in their own territory, I believe.
Let's see. Okay, New England at their own 8.
Yeah, it was. I can tell you right now. It was at 9:20. Wait, second quarter? No, that's not right. 3 yards. So it was the 8:21 in the fourth quarter. First and 10 at the New England 8-yard line. T. Munford report is eligible. Drake May up the middle to negative.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay,
negative 3 yards. Yeah,
which is interesting because they don't show the fumble.
Yeah, I don't think.
I guess they don't. I guess they don't treat. Or did he flip it to him or something?
I don't think it was a fumble. He wanted to hand it off to Stevenson, but Stevenson fell down. So May just had to eat the ball. So
okay. I thought I remembered a play where it looked like it was a fumble. Okay, so it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was it. Yeah. So it was the rush for -3 yards.
Right. Which, like I said, ended up killing us in that bet. So it was unfortunate.
Yeah. No, but I was talking about that the sacks are not counted as rushing attempts.
That's what I'm saying. Usually not. But like this was technically a sack because he was taken down behind the line of scrimmage. But like
but they did not rule it as a sack.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it looked like a sack, but it was not. They said it wasn't a sack, and so they counted him negative rushing yards. We have a Sports Center update. I'm curious.
No, it's off my phone. Let me see if I turn that volume down.
It's okay.
I don't know if it'll help, but
well, you don't want like Sports Center, ESPN suing us for
no. This is just an alert.
Okay.
Another ESPN sent over some sort of notice.
Okay.
Let me see here. Watch Victor Wembanyama something or other. Okay. No, I'm just thinking that. Well, so I guess Well, I guess what it was. I guess. Okay. I guess May was 3 yards deep in the backfield, roughly. Tried the handoff, it didn't work, and he fell on the ball.
Yeah, basically.
Is that what happened? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I guess it comes closer to a rush than a sack.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't trying to set up for a pass. It was a bungled handoff.
Yeah. So unfortunately, he took the loss. So what are you gonna do? It's just a bad beat. But anyway, like I said, it was a winning Sunday, so can't complain. And it sounds like you had a great Sunday as well. So that is.
I think anyone who bet on that Denver New England game should have gotten paid for sitting through it.
It was pretty brutal. And look, it was.
Although let's congratulate. Let's congratulate Sean Payton for another bad decision.
Not kicking, you mean, when they're upset nothing?
Yeah.
I see. I thought that was terrible.
By the way, what did you and Evan think about what was the thing we talked about before?
The Rams not kicking, you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, because you said you had a discussion on that, so we'll talk about that when we get to that game. Yeah.
I see. I thought the two things were different. I personally would have gone for it if I was McVay at
On the 4th and 4.
4th and 4. So I remember thinking 3rd and 4. You've such a great offense, and as like,
and you know what, Evan talks about this all the time. The Rams play calling and 3rd and 4th down is horrible.
That's true. That is true.
Now 3rd and 9 and 4th and 9, that's a little different for some reason. But no, and I'll tell you why. Because now, if they don't make it, you figure if they do make it, then you only need a field goal. If they don't make it, I guess the thought is if they hold them, they get the ball back, but they still need a touchdown instead of a field goal.
Yeah,
we could talk. We could talk about when we get to that game. So that it's joined together in thought. So we can go back to. No, I was talking about Sean Payton. You knew it was going to be a low-scoring game from the beginning. Exactly. You knew the wind. Okay, you knew the wind. You knew the temperatures. You didn't know the extent of the snow that would be coming in the second half. But you had two good defenses, and you had two relatively inexperienced quarterbacks, including Stidham. You had to figure that it was going to be a low-scoring game, and you had a chance to go up by, by 2 scores, basically, 10 points.
Yeah.
I think you take it. Now, it was early in the game, okay? But, again, if the score was what 7-0 at that time, could have been up 10-0.
Yeah,
and they had all the momentum, and they gave that momentum away. But again, New England's touchdown came as a result of a mistake, turnover.
Right, yeah, and which that was another bad beat because I bet Patriots defensive touchdown at plus 650.
I think they came out and said afterwards that the correct ruling would have been incomplete pass.
It was incomplete, but it was a backward pass. It went backwards.
Yeah, but I think the whistle had blown.
It blew
before the pass, incomplete pass hit the ground, I believe.
Well, no, they blew the play dead as soon as the guy got it or something. So
yeah, I thought I heard the whistle before then.
Well, I mean, either way.
I mean, it was it's a split-second thing there.
Right, but either way they screwed up because they're told not to blow the play dead. Like they're specifically told that.
Right, let it go out and then go, let video assist or whatever. Yeah, right. I mean, we knew that. Well, the point is, it would have been New England. Well, it was. It turned out to be New England's ball on even if it was an incomplete pass, it would have been New England's ball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should have been defensive touchdown. That's what I'm saying. Because if they didn't stop the play, they scored. And so.
Well, no, I think didn't they rule that it was a backward pass, and as such, it cannot be advanced.
No, you can advance the backward pass. A backward pass is a fumble, so you can advance the backward pass. It's a fumble.
No, I don't know. Well, I don't think they ruled it as a fumble, did they?
Well, a backward pass is a fumble, so you can.
No, I'm not sure about that. You may be right.
Yeah. So the only reason it wasn't a touchdown because they blew the play dead, which is what I'm saying is like they're told not to do that. So like the official who did that should not be officiating the Super Bowl. I believe that their career was officiating the Super Bowl. So
he shouldn't even be officiating the Orange Bowl.
Or I was about to say like the Pee Wee team. My son's gonna be on in a couple of years. That was terrible because like I said, we had plus 650 on the Patriots to score a defensive touchdown. Yeah. I was like, yeah, let's go. And then it's like after review, the ruling play was ruled dead. The Patriots ball. I'm like, come on, seriously. Yeah. And of course it didn't hit. So that was another bad beat that we had in that game, unfortunately. But it like the end result ended up being the same because the Patriots scored a touchdown. But you're right. Like the point of this is. It's like they were just no points to be had in this game, especially in the second half once the wind arrived in the summer.
But I mean, even when you're up 7-0 and you have the momentum, because remember they had Stidham completed that long pass play that set up their first touchdown.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Marvin Mims. Yeah,
and then they were moving the ball to get in position for the second touchdown, and Sean Payton, who wants to show that he's smarter than the rest of us, and we talked about it. Remember his week 1 and 2 records?
Oh, terrible!
The start of the season, yeah, but he's the genius.
Yeah,
but no, I said it at the time. Now, of course, we don't know what would have happened, how the game played out if it was 10-0. It's always impossible to say. Well, if the game played out, but also you can't play ifs. You can only play what happened, and we don't know what would have happened if there would have what would have occurred after the score was 10-0. Okay,
right. Yeah, because the Patriots would
could have ended up being 31-23. You don't know. unlikely, but it changes things.
Yeah, the Patriots would have actually thrown the ball in the fourth quarter as opposed to just sitting on it. Did Drake May even throw the ball in the fourth quarter? I don't I don't recall that he did.
Let me check. I think I've got the.
I have it.
I think I've got the stats by quarter.
I have it up too. So Stevenson run, May sacked. That was the one drive. Okay. Then it was May takes that 3-yard loss. Stevenson run. Okay. May pass incomplete. So there's one pass. And then it was Stevenson run, punts. And then it was Stevenson run, May run, encroachment call, kneel down. So yeah, he threw one pass in the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So they would have thrown more if they were tied or trailing.
Tied or behind, yeah.
Right. So they just sat on the ball.
And I think the other thing that was noteworthy in that game was on that missed field goal that was tipped. They had they were 1 yard short of where they normally would have been because they couldn't see the yard markings on the field.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You heard about that part?
No, I didn't actually. What happened?
Yeah. Let me get my camera up here. Okay. That they were setting up with the field goal. I think if I heard it correctly, the kicker usually kicks from 8 yards back, and apparently he kicked from only 7 yards back because they couldn't determine where the 8 yards were because of the snow. Wow, I believe that's it. So that's why Taylor was able to get his hand up and tip the ball. Whether it would have made a difference, it's hard to say. Okay. But because it did look like it was going to be good. I did not notice the tip until the replay.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, I hate when they have the field goal attempt shot from behind the goalpost.
Yeah.
In the end zone. Just with the camera again here. I don't know what it is, but they should always use the view from behind the kicker.
Yeah, that's true. And you kind of have to question the wisdom of the Patriots to draft a kicker from Venezuela who kicked in Miami University.
Well, especially these days, although he's happy to be here.
That's true. But no, it's like really, I mean, it's like this warm temperature year round, and then suddenly he's kicking in New England type weather. I know this is in Denver, but still, it's the same thing.
I don't think Venezuela's warm all year round, don't they? They have winter. Not severe. Maybe it's like Florida's winter. As far I don't know what the distance from the equator is. Florida to the equator relative to Venezuela to the equator.
I don't know. I should probably check that. But anyway, I was kind of looking it up right now. In July, Venezuela has temperatures around 82 degrees. So yeah, that's their.
Well, what is it? What does it have temperatures in December?
But that's their summer, isn't it? So, in December it is 91. Looks like 91 all year round.
Okay, yeah. So so it's probably not that far from the equator.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So my point is like, you're going to draft a guy from Venezuela who kicked in Miami to kick in like cold weather in January. Like maybe you should have drafted a kicker from Iowa or Penn State or I don't know, Wisconsin. I
don't know. I think once you get up here and you live, you get used to it.
Maybe I guess. It's always been 7 yards on the hole. I think it's 8 yards if it's like longer.
Okay, then if it's always been 7 yards on the hole, then they were 6 yards.
6 yards. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. It kind of reminds me though, like precipitation stuff. It reminds me. I don't know if you remember when who was the old Jets coach, and then he was the Eagles coach. He's like
the great Doug Kotite.
Rich Kotite.
Rich Kotite, right? Rich Kotite. Yeah.
Rich Kotite. I don't know if you remember when he had to go for 2. And it was like an obvious one. It was like obvious to go for 2, and he didn't do it. And then he was interviewed afterward, and they're like, "Coach, why didn't you go for 2?" And he's like, "My 2-point conversion sheet got wet."
Oh, gee. My favorite 2-point conversion. I forget if it was Woody or Bo Schembechler who said. I think it was like 48-0. I'm going to assume. Let's say it was Ohio State up 48-0, and they went for 2. And they asked Woody, "Why did you go for 2?" Because we couldn't go for 3.
I remember that quote. Yeah,
Because they're bitter. It may have been Bo who said, I don't remember, but it's still a great quote. That's my other second favorite quote, and they've played this a lot recently, I guess, with Tampa Bay when they were a successful team. When when John McKay was coaching Tampa Bay, and they were horrible, and they asked him after the game, Coach, what'd you think of your team's execution today? He says, I'm in favor of it.
I love it. Steve Spurrier was the quarterback of that team, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Of that specific, he might have been, but yeah, it was 76. In fact, this is the 50th anniversary of. This was the 50th anniversary, the 25 season of both Seattle and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And you okay? Well, Woody said that. Okay, Woody also said that if he ran out of gas in Michigan before he crossed the border, he'd push the car across the border to get gas in Ohio. But no, I remember back with those Bucks who were really. I think they were 0-26 before they got their first win.
That's.
But I don't know if you remember that because you weren't even born yet. Seattle was originally in the AFC and Tampa Bay was originally in the NFC for like a season or two, I think, and then they switched or whatever.
I do remember Seattle was an AFC West team up until 2002, which is when they went to 8 divisions. But yeah, Seattle was in that division with Denver, Kansas City, the Raiders, and Chargers. So I do remember that. It's something similar happened in the in I think it was 2001, I think, or maybe 2000. I think it was 2000. Denver played Atlanta, and Denver, with like 3 minutes left, scored a touchdown to go at 41-14. And they scored a touchdown to go to 40-14. And so instead of kicking an extra point, they went for 2. And then like afterward, Mike Shanahan and Dan Reeves, like they were yelling at each other, and it's because
did he give an answer why he did it?
Well, they hated each other, Shanahan and Reeves, because when Dan Reeves was coach of the Broncos, they fired Mike Shanahan, and it's because Dan Reeves said that Mike Shanahan was trying to usurp his position, and so like I don't know, like they just had bad blood with each other, and so you had that crazy 2-point conversion at the end, which was meaningless.
Because we've seen situations where they've gone for 2 because the kicker was injured. I think the Giants had that a couple of times this past year or within the past few years.
Yeah. So you do see some stuff like that at times, but Reeves and Shanahan, there was no love lost there. So anyway, as far as going back to the coaching decision, I agree with you on the Sean Payton one. I would have kicked the field goal.
What did Evan have to say, if anything, on that one?
Evan and I disagreed on this one. He said he would have gone for it. My stance is a couple of things. First of all, what you said, it's going to be a low scoring game. Every points are at a premium. A field goal means way more in a 10-7 game than it does in a 30-35 31 game. So I think the field goal was right to do, and given that they had to have known that this storm was coming in on the radar.
They probably didn't know the extent of it. Sure, they may have thought it was going to. Well, we're expecting flurries.
Sure,
a little more than flurries, but yeah,
they had to have known something was coming, and so they knew the weather would be worse at and so
second half.
Right. So
it was kind of like the Eagles-Rams game in the playoffs last year.
Yes, and the last thing is like. Even if Denver converts the fourth down, they're not guaranteed to score a touchdown. They're not a great offense. So,
well, no, but I mean, you now have 4 cracks at it from, let's say, inside the 2.
Were they at the 2? I thought they were at the 10. Weren't they?
I thought you said they were at the 6 when they went for it on 4th and 4.
That was the Rams.
Oh, that's the Rams game. Okay. See how confusing I am on all this. That's how quickly I forget about some of these plays when it didn't really. I mean, but when the specifics didn't necessarily. I didn't necessarily remember the specifics, but I knew what the impact was.
Okay. I'm actually trying to see where they were. They were at the. They were at the.
Yeah, I'm going to go pull that out here for the first quarter.
They were at the 14. They were at the New England 14.
That's what I thought I said the first time. That's what I thought I said the first time when we talked about it. But yeah.
It was the beginning of the second quarter. It was 4th and 1 at the 14. So, okay, if you try to sneak, maybe, but like they had Stim throw a pass, which was not going to be good. And so, I think either sneak it or kick the field goal on 4th and 1. But no, don't throw a pass with your back.
Right, 4th and 1 on the 14, incomplete to Harvey, short. So we don't even know. I don't even know if that would have been enough for a first down.
Right. Yeah, we don't know. So my point was, like, even if you get the first down, say you're at the 12, like, there's no guarantee you're going to score a touchdown. Like, what if you have?
Oh no, exactly. In fact, I'm just looking at it now. I remember now that Denver called the timeout to think about it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember that.
And I'm looking at the play-by-play.
Okay.
It says Denver timed out at 9:28, and then the next play is the 4th and 1 from the 14. They were 3rd and 6 on the 19, and he scrambled for 5 yards to the 14, so it was 4th and 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why I said
on the 14-yard line, and that's when they went for it. I mean, I could sort of understand it because it was early in the game, but the game had a low total. Well, no, actually, the total went up in this one. We talked about it earlier. It went up from 40.5 to 43.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I could understand it, but I don't know why he would take a timeout and not already decide beforehand. Why would you waste the timeout?
Right.
At that point, unless you decide, you know what, let's take the points. Because if you're going to go for it, you would know on 3rd down, the 3rd down play you call, we're going to go for it on 4th down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you got to think ahead. It's like playing chess. You got to think ahead, and you
got to think ahead a down or two. Yeah.
So you have to think, like, okay, if we don't get it, what do we do here? So yeah, I totally agree. But and I don't know if you can move past this game, but or talk about this game for a little bit more. But like, I thought that to me, like, I don't know if you felt this way, but when the Broncos were down 10-7, it just felt like they had no hope at all. Like, I felt like if the game had gone, if they had like 4 more quarters, they could not have scored. Like that's what it felt to me in those conditions. And like, as someone who had, exactly.
Well, the only thing is they did have 2 field goal attempts. One was blocked and the other one was just missed. So they did have their opportunity. In theory, the score easily could have been 16-7 or 16-10.
No, I'm referring to the Broncos. Like,
I'm saying that they missed 2 field goals, didn't they? They had the one that was just wide left, I think it was, and the other one that got tipped.
The Patriots field goals, right?
I thought they were Denver field goals.
Well, Lutz did have a field goal blocked, but
yeah. I thought he missed another one. I thought they both missed field goals.
Yeah, that was the field goal. The drive on the field goal was blocked. They actually took over at the New England 33. So yeah. They didn't move the ball. They were just there.
Yeah.
And so
I thought there was another missed field goal. Maybe that was the New England one I'm thinking of.
That could be it. I'm not because there was only one Denver field goal in the 4th quarter, which was the blocked one. But
you mean one field goal attempt?
Yeah, one field goal attempt by Denver. Yeah, that was blocked. So I thought Denver, because Denver only moved the ball 5 yards in that drive. Like, I thought Denver couldn't move the ball at all. Like, it just, like, it seemed so hopeless for them. And so as someone who had the Patriots interest with the exactas, I felt like I was so safe. Like, I wasn't even sweating it out, So maybe it's because I also had the 3.5, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, Broncos were 0-2 on field goals. New England was 1 for 3.
Right, but when was the other? It's 2nd quarter. Will Lutz was 54-yard field goal was wide right.
Okay, that was the first one that he missed.
Yeah. So
and the second one was blocked. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was before,
yeah. That was before what?
That was before the snowstorm came in. So.
Oh yeah, well, 40-yard field goal, but they were still. Well, it was the wind in that one. He did. I remember seeing that one because he started it off towards the center of the goalpost, and it went to the right, as opposed to playing for left to right movement on that.
Yeah. Yeah, but once the snow arrived and the wind, and it's like to me, that's what I'm saying is, like, I didn't feel threatened at all. Like, it just.
Well, the second one that he missed, which I guess would have made it 10-10. Was the one where they lined up where the kick was 6 instead of 7 yards back.
Right. Okay.
Which enabled the block. I don't think we can say we know for sure, if at all, what would have happened if the ball wasn't tipped. I mean, if it wasn't blocked, it was tipped. So I don't know what would have happened if they had been 7 yards back and it cleared the guy's fingers.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So anyway, it was.
But yeah, to the point. The point is that we figured, even without the snow, it was going to be a low-scoring game based upon I think the winds were like pretty steady, 12 miles an hour, and the temperature was in the mid-teens, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Let me see what the game time temperature was.
I think it was
game
like
time. 26 degrees at kickoff. Humidity 38%, which is interesting. 10 miles, and the wind chill made it feel like 16. So
okay, all right.
So it wasn't terrible, but 26. Yeah, but humidity only 38%, and it didn't take long for it to become 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the second game was far more eventful, and I thought so we agreed on the Broncos needing the field goal. I thought the Rams should have gone for it, and I said earlier that it had a lot to do with the Rams having the number one offense. I know they did struggle on fourth down, but like it's still, when you have Stafford and all those receivers and Kyron Williams and good offensive line,
I would have agreed. I would have agreed if they didn't have the 3 timeouts left. Because the 3 timeouts basically said, get the ball back. Even if you give up a first down, you got 3 timeouts, you have a chance to now win the game with a field goal.
So that's the other end of it, is that I wasn't confident that they would get the ball back, even with the 3 timeouts, because they really didn't show much of an ability.
No, but you know that if they're up, if Seattle's trying to protect a 31-30 lead, they're probably, we don't know, of course, they turned out to be more aggressive than we thought, but they're probably going to realize that, hey, we have to run the clock out because they have 3 timeouts. What was it, about 2.5 minutes to go when they went for it on the fourth down?
I'm not.
I thought it was between 2 and 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go back down here. Oh, I got the other game up there. Okay.
It was 5:45. No, sorry, it's 4:59 left. There's 4.
When they failed, when they turned it over.
4th and 4 at the Seattle 6. Yeah, because I remember thinking on the 3rd and 4, I'm like, okay, if they don't get this, I would go for it unless Stafford takes a sack and it's like 4th and 11. Then you kick the field goal. But 4th and 4 should be convertible for the top offense in the NFL. And so I thought, in a shootout where the other team is like likely to score or something, or keep the ball away. I thought that going for it was the right decision. And even if they don't get it, the Seattle strand at 6, it feels like they're not going to kick a field goal to make the game even harder to win. So,
say that part again. That's Seattle.
So if you kick the field goal, right, it's 31-30. You kick off,
right?
Yeah, Seattle gets the ball instead of the 6-yard line. They get the ball at the 35 with these stupid rules.
Right.
So that's only a couple of first downs away from a field goal, and so so anyway, they're gonna score anyway and just make it more difficult. So I would rather just strand them at the 6. Now it didn't end up working out, but I think that
we didn't know where they were going to strand him. We didn't know where the kickoff was going to go. He might have just kicked it.
Well, I mean, if you go for it and you fail, they're stranded at the 6-yard line. You know what I mean? That's
oh, you mean Seattle's at their own 6.
Right. Which if that seems like it's like worst case scenario. They have worst case scenario is a pick 6, but worst case scenario, is really
but they still need a touchdown.
Yeah, that's true. But if you get a
and they have their 3 timeouts, I'd much rather because again, if let's put it this way, okay, worst possible scenario, okay, Rams are stopped, Seattle somehow goes down and gets a touchdown, extra point, they're up by 8. Okay, the Rams still need the touchdown and now a 2-point conversion to tie. But if the Rams stop them after kicking the field goal and kicking off, they get the ball back with the 3 timeouts. Now they only need a field goal. So instead of needing to go 70 yards, maybe they need to go 35 yards. Yeah, to me, the decision was based on having all their timeouts.
Yeah,
we'd rather take the chance that we'll get the ball back needing only a field goal rather than getting the ball back if we fail. Seattle makes us use our timeouts because they're not going to use theirs because they're up by 4, and we don't get the ball back. And if we do get the ball back, we get it back as they did with 10 seconds left.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's the thought process that goes in. Now, I don't, and I don't care what the analytics say for that situation, because we don't have too many situations of playoff games coming down to that decision needing to be made.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, look, there's not a big sample size, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the analytics would have said, but I like I said, I personally, if this is
As
like
I say, by the way, and I love analytics, but you need to know how to use them. The analytics are a guide, a tool, not a Bible.
Yeah, just a piece of the pie, I think. Yeah, I think it's foolish to avoid
and I'll tell you why. Because you do have to measure risk and reward, and you can define that differently. But the point is, let's say these teams have let's say they have a 60% chance of being successful. Okay, small sample size, whatever it is. But you know what? On this one play, it's either going to be 0 or 100.
No.
You got to balance that. Over 100 plays will make it 60% of the time. That's great. But now you're making it on one play where your season's in the balance.
Yeah.
Right. So, I understand both sides of it. I'm just saying that you have to balance the risk with the reward. And again, to me, it came down to having their 3 timeouts, which I think they had. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure, but they did have 5 minutes left, so there's plenty of time either way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look, it's Seattle won. You were right on the money with Seattle all year. You had them number 2 before anyone else did, and then you moved to number 1. So it's
over the latter part of the season, when they continued to play well and the Rams were struggling, they finally caught them. Let me see. Actually, right now, not that it's going to matter because. Well, I'm going to have to get up for a minute and get it because I have it in another room. But I think that I have Seattle right now would be they'd probably be on a neutral field 2.5 over the Rams.
Okay. So, yeah, so it was a cheap number for you in the NFC Championship. So it's a good call on your part. And
Well, and then again, by the way, if they kick the field goal and lose 31-30, the Rams cover. That's how close the line was, and that's how close. And I'm sure there were a lot of people who had the Rams and were saying kick the field goal.
You know what? I had the Rams and I said go for it. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Maybe you don't value money.
Well, maybe I hit the ladders and the prop bets, and I didn't care at that point.
Or maybe you had forgotten about it. You were wrapped up in the drama of the game.
I was wrapped up in the prop winnings.
Okay.
I don't really care about this anymore.
No, but again, I'm going to go take a look while you can talk about it. I'm going to take a look to see when the Rams, because the Rams I think called a lot of early timeouts.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they did or not, but yeah, I mean, you could tell us. So, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I showed this to you guys yesterday. But this is the best ball lineup I have remaining heading into the Super Bowl. So I have 3 roster spots open. No Puka, no Trevor Lawrence, no Blake Corum, but like everyone else is still in this. I have Drake May, Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Kenneth Walker, Keyshawn Butte, Ramondre Stevenson, Rashid Shaheed, and AJ Barner. I know for a fact that there are some people who made the championship only like 1 or 2 players remaining. In fact, I have one lineup. I think this might be it. I can show you guys. I have another lineup in the championship. This lineup is completely dead because the only player I have left is Kenneth Walker. So, and I know Kenny has something similar. He has like 2 players. He has like Keyshawn Butte and someone else. And so there are 550 people in this. And so, like, if 2 of us have this sort of configuration, then there's got to be a lot more, I think. And the reason for that is because, if you had like Josh Allen if you had Josh Allen in the second round, then you would have advanced to the championship. So that's like an example. So like if you had Stafford, then you would have probably advanced because I think he was the highest scoring quarterback, and Puka Nacua I think was the highest scoring receiver, I believe. And so like you could have had both of them and won your pod and would have advanced, but then you wouldn't have it for the championship. So I think there are a lot of people stuck in that role. The only thing this team doesn't have, this main team here, is Jackson Smith and Jigba, but there's like no way I could have been in the situation with him because in the first round I took Puka Nacua, and Jackson Smith and Jigba typically went second. So like Puka went first, JSN went second. if I drafted JSN instead of Puka, I would not have made the championship because Puka got me here. So it's kind of like a weird no, Jason, sorry, he was like fourth, not second. But anyway, I couldn't have gotten him at all. So Puka got me here, and so that's why I don't have JSN. I don't know how many people have JSN. I hope people didn't collude and have him, in like a lineup that's better than mine. But the way I figure it is, if JSN has a mediocre game, and if Drake May outscores Sam Darnold, then I have a good chance to win this whole thing. So just hope that happens. We'll see. Andy, are you back yet? Oh, hold on. Andy's sorry, you were backstage.
Oh,
you clicked out or something. That's why you weren't there. So
okay. I'm looking at that. I think the Rams called that timeout while Seattle had the ball after they had been stopped. Let me just see. I just had it here. Timeout number 2. Let me go back. Timeout number 1 occurred with 3:26 remaining in the game. So it was 4th and 6 at 4:59 remaining. Seattle, the Rams were 4th and 4 at the Seattle 6, and Stafford had the incomplete pass and turned it over. So Seattle took over at their own 6-yard line. And it was during that drive that they used their first timeout. So they had all 3 timeouts remaining, but they had to use one.
Okay.
Let me see. Their second timeout came. With 3:26 left, they called a timeout. With 3:20 left, they called a timeout. And with 3:05 left, they called their final timeout. Okay. So when they did go for it on 4th and 6, 4th and 4 from the Seattle 6, they did have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Okay. So they had 5 minutes and all 3 timeouts. So they had plenty of time for sure.
Yeah. So that was to me the determining factor as far as why I would have kicked the field goal.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, either way, the Rams didn't get the ball back anyway. So
and by the way, having Seattle on laying the 2.5, I'm glad they didn't go for the field goal.
Right.
But I felt it was the right move again because of the timeouts, and if they're down by 6, you don't go for the field goal. Because if you get it, you're still down by you're down. I'm sorry, if they're down by 7, you don't go for the field goal.
Yeah.
If you're down by 6, it's still iffy because then you still need a field goal to get you into overtime as opposed to win the game.
Right.
If you're down by 7, a field goal at that point does you no good.
Right.
Unless you feel that even if you get stopped, you still have a good chance for getting a field goal. For getting a touchdown with very little time remaining, depending upon where your defense does. Now, I don't have it up in front of me anymore, but I think the Rams got a couple of first downs in that situation. They took over in the 6th, and then the second down, then first down, second down, third down, first down. Okay, then they got first down, and then they got another first down, and then they... I guess they a 2-minute warning. They had used all 3 timeouts by the time that they by the time they had the 2-minute warning, Rams were out of timeouts.
Okay. All right. So either way, the point is it didn't matter because the Rams never even got into field goal range anyway. So it's all moot, but we could argue that. But anyway, I thought that we could maybe get into some of the props. And before we get into the props for this game coming up, you sent me the Imperial Palace.
By the way, for the people who may not be familiar, Jay Cornegay, who was a longtime sportsbook director at the Westgate, I think from like around 2004, 2005, up until he retired late during the 2024 season, was at the Imperial Palace before then. And that's, before he took over at the Westgate, the Imperial Palace was one of the ones who was one of the leaders as far as offering Super Bowl props. So the one that you're looking at here was from Super Bowl 30 between the Cowboys and the Steelers. and it consisted, I believe, of 8 pages of props. And as you can see, they were not very closely bunched together. The one that you're about to put up, I think, which is the Westgate from this year.
Yeah.
54 pages this year.
That's wild.
I think it was about 30 or 32 last year. So they added a lot. I've not had a chance really to go over them, but there will be some that will be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure. So real quick on this. So as you said, Steelers, Cowboys. Neil O'Donnell was the Steelers quarterbacks. I see total gross passing yards by O'Donnell with the totals 258. Will O'Donnell throw an interception in the first half? Bam Morris was the running back?
I think so.
Bam Morris, Cordell Stewart, I see, was the
Cordell Stewart was the receiver. Yeah.
Yancey Thigpen, John L. Williams. Who was emails? I don't remember emails.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I total reception, so I guess he was a receiver. But I remember Pegram. I do remember Pegram. I don't remember Mills though. Yeah, so it's funny to see some of these names. You said they're 8 pages. Do you remember betting on any of these?
Yes. In fact, hold on. I'm going to step away for a little bit. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to get some other information. So I'll be back in about a minute or so.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to talk for a minute. So anyway, I guess to go back to the best ball thing. So what I was saying was a lot of people will have like 1 or 2 or 3 players left, and it was impossible to get JSN. And that's why I'm hoping that like there was no collusion done, because you saw that like some people were like being rumored as colluding and like trying to get like the best teams possible. So like there's a chance someone has a team like this, but instead they have Jack Smith and Jigba, or like they have better players. But still, it's like it's kind of hard to I think it was kind of hard to advance this team, because you didn't have Josh Allen, who was the leading quarterback in week 2. You didn't have Stafford, who was the leading quarterback in week 3. You had Drake May, who had good performances in round 1 and round 2, but he didn't have a good performance in round 3. But this happened to make it through into round 3, and so I was able to win it. To win my pod. It was kind of close. There was a guy who had a full lineup too, but I was able to beat him. So really hoping this wins. This is not, by the way, this is not the $1 million to first contest. Unfortunately, it would be great if it was. This is the 20 max $3 one. Grand prize is $30,000, so that'll be nice to get. All right, Andy, you're back. Do you have what are you looking for? Shake, keep talking.
Well, I was looking for my apple juice since I finished the water bottle, and I was looking for my sheet that had the current power ratings, and right now Seattle I have actually as at a neutral site. Seattle would be a 2.76 favorite, so between 2.5 and 3. As far as the neutral site here, and again, it has to do not necessarily with the quality of competition, but I think the Patriots and the Seahawks. Well, the quality of competition is factored into the development of the number, but I think that this number is larger than I thought it would be, and that's due to the quality of competition factor that's in these numbers, because these numbers talk about how well you do and who you do it against. Okay? And because I believe New England and Seattle were the number 1 and number 2 teams in point differential this season. I think one was plus 191 and the other was plus 172. In fact, let me quickly get on here and get to that. Let me see the standings overall. Okay. Seattle was plus 191, and the Patriots, I don't know if that includes their games. No, this is regular. 191, the Patriots were plus 170, and then there was a huge drop-off. Okay, Rams were number 2 at 172. Patriots were plus 170. So they both were right up there near the top of the league as far as differential goes, but with the factor of who they accomplished what they did against, because, again, the margins are relatively similar, off by about a point a game, 172 to 190 over 17 games. My numbers actually on the neutral field have Seattle at 6.88.
Okay.
Which surprised me. Okay. And by the way, that does include playoff results.
Okay.
So now, of course, Seattle's played one less game than the Rams, but in effect, they played the equivalent of 2 games when you factor in the game over San Francisco was 41-6.
Sure.
That would be a margin. You would not expect a 35-point margin in one game. You might over 2 games, but it only counts as one. And we'll talk about it if we have some general thoughts on the Super Bowl before we get to some of the props, if you want, because I do have some thoughts there.
Well, I don't know if you want to share a pick because we could do that.
No, I don't have a pick yet. Because I just have like one of the things I take a look at some of the factors that I'm considering. Okay, because my numbers, the actual numbers, when I factor in the quality of opposition and everything, actually says the game should be Seattle between 4 and 4.5, which is where it's at.
Right.
Because the schedule difficulty.
Right. The advanced spread was 3.5. So
yeah.
I don't know what you make of that. I mean, I think what I saw on Twitter after the Patriots-Broncos game, everyone was saying the Patriots are a fraud. Like everyone. Cousin Sal,
after the Broncos game.
I think Cousin Sal had the police siren going off as like fraud alert with the Patriots because they only scored 10 points and they
only gave up 7.
That's true. I don't.
No, I'm just saying that seems to be a typical public reaction. They only scored 10 points. They only gained what they gained 200 yards or something.
It was. I have it right here. It was 206.
Well, I'll tell you what. If the Patriots only give up 7 points and they face Seattle, who gave up 27 to the Rams, Why isn't Seattle a fraud? I mean, they're not, but neither are the Patriots. At this point in time, by the way, okay, the schedule difficulty was great, but that's the regular season. Forget about it. Now you're looking at the playoffs, and the Patriots have played very well. And remember, in fact, I'll share with you a couple of the concerns that I have, although 2 of them, because something else is something that favors by the way, I will have my key points that I use to consider when playing props, which we can do, as we get towards the end here. But one of the things I do in my Super Bowl newsletter, which is like War and Peace, I think it's like 20-something pages or whatever it is. But and a lot of it is on the props. It's just history and other thoughts. But a lot of history of that. But 3 reasons to support. I do 3 reasons to support each team and 3 factors against each team. And the only thing I have right now are because these are the ones that come out before I do more of an in-depth statistical. So these are more intangible edges, okay, and factors against. Okay, so I've got 2 reasons to support Seattle, which basically are reasons to be against Seattle, but to be against New England. But I want to come up with a total of 3 for each. 4 and against. So I have right now 2 factors to support Seattle, and one factor against New England. So these are the ones that don't have to do with looking into the numbers and quantifying things. Okay, the factor against New England is their highly rated defense. The highly rated defenses of the Chargers, Texans, and Broncos sacked May 5 times each in the Pats' 3 playoff wins. That's a concern. Okay, sure. That's against New England. Seattle was not a great sack team, but they were above average and better than the Patriots. And the Patriots, as far as sacks allowed, were a little bit higher than what Seattle allowed, if I recall correctly. I've got the numbers here somewhere, but not terrible. Okay. Now, the two of the 3 reasons I have, because I haven't got the third one yet, to support Seattle. Seattle's familiar with the stadium and the field, and they played here recently in Week 18, defeating the 49ers in that game that determined the number 1 seed. Okay, in Week 18. And then the other thing, and this could be subject to a little bit of subjectivity here, but then again, I'm not going by the numbers, but the numbers could probably be supported both ways, that Sam Darnold will be the best quarterback that New England will have faced in the postseason. He's clearly better than Stroud and Stidham, okay?
Herbert,
and
yeah.
I say banged up Herbert and conditioned with the offensive line, I'd have to say Darnold right now, under the conditions that he's playing and the conditions that Herbert played, he presents, I think Darnold presents more of a challenge to the Patriots than Herbert did.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Again, that's what part of these subjectives are. Now, some of the other things that that when I fill in the other nine boxes, I'll have other reasons in there. And I could say that the 3 reasons to support New England could also be, say, against Seattle, but basically what I'm coming up with are 18 points. 3 for Seattle, 3 against Seattle, 3 for New England, and 3 against New England. And I can go over those next week when we talk about what my selection is, because I really don't know. I will say this also, and again, I haven't used it as a factor, but if you ignore the quality of competition faced during the regular season, which for me is worth 4 points to Seattle, just based upon power rating differences of the opponents, the statistics of these teams are remarkably similar. Mm-hmm. Okay? And by that, I mean, here are their season-to-date statistics. And these are the basic metrics, not the in-depth one. But total offense, 351 for Seattle, 379 for New England. Defensive yards, 286 allowed per game for Seattle, 295 for New England. Points for Seattle, 28.4, New England, 28.8. Points against, Seattle, 17.2, New England, 18.8. Here's one of the key differences. Turnovers lost, not turnover margin, turnovers lost. Seattle ranked number 31, 28 turnovers lost. New England was 9th with 16 turnovers lost. So that's a big edge for New England. And again, a lot of it had to do with Darnold, of which a lot of it had to do with the 2 regular season games against the Rams. Mm-hmm. Turnovers recovered. Seattle has the edge. They recovered 25. New England recovered, or takeaways you want to call that, 19. Rushing offense, average per game. And I won't even identify the teams. That's how close they are. 123, 129. Okay. Rushing defense, 92 and 102. Passing offense, 228, 250. New England had the edge there. Pass defense, 194 and 194. Very, very close in these statistics. And then when I factored in the quality of opposition faced, that came up to a little bit over 4 points, between 4 and 4.5. So that's what I take a look at there. In fact, do I have the run? No, because I still have the regular season numbers as far as what the opponents are. Well, I guess I can. Let me see if I can switch over here. Are you still able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Let me get this out here, because now they've played more than the regular season. So let me call this program up in my program here. Analysis of opponents faced. Okay. Okay. Seattle's opponents on the year were 178 and 165 straight up. New England's opponents were 154 and 197 straight up. This includes playoff games. Mm-hmm. Now, when I take out the games against Seattle, meaning Seattle's 16 wins, and I take those 16 wins out, okay, Seattle, and I take out their 3 losses. So against anyone, against all teams other than Seattle, Seattle's opponents were 143 and 128, the teams they defeated. Okay, not their overall numbers, but just the teams they defeated. New England's opponents against other than New England were 128 and 152, including playoffs. Okay, now the teams they lost to, they each lost 3 games. Seattle's opponents who beat Seattle, taking out those 3 losses that Seattle suffered, those opponents were 32 and 21 against Seattle. New England's opponents in the teams that New England lost to, 23 and 28. So that's a significant difference overall with the season. Now, those numbers are obviously better, including the playoff games, because New England played 3 double-digit win teams in the playoffs, which are factored into the numbers I just read you. Okay, so they're worse than that 154 and whatever I said, 154 and
and
191, and Seattle also. So Seattle only played 2 teams, both of which were double-digit win teams. So, but the point is that the numbers for the full season dramatically are anti New England, which is interesting because when I took a look at those numbers before the Denver game, Denver's schedule wasn't that much less, wasn't that much less difficult.
But yeah, Denver played a lot of bad teams that they barely beat, which we highlighted all year. The Raiders, the Patriots' losses to the three teams that you mentioned, it's kind of
Pittsburgh in a game the Raiders dominated. Buffalo in a game they had that 21-0 lead and lost.
Yeah,
and then the
Raiders,
as you mentioned.
Right, that record's kind of like it kind of like
it's weird. It cost the Patriots playing that game at home, which by the way would have been interesting to see if they could have played it in the big snowstorm that came on Sunday.
Yeah, they may have postponed that one.
I know. Well, you know what? I was thinking about that. I talked on, I think, a couple of podcasts that I did, I think, after this one last week. And I mentioned that, if they had, because we knew the snow was coming, that they may have done what they did with the Rams, Minnesota last year with the wildfires, might have moved it to a neutral site because they would not want to give up that prime time game on Sunday or, Saturday, I guess it would have been.
Oh, Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So,
the Patriots. I guess the Patriots as the number one seed would have played on Sunday.
Yeah, it would have been the 3:00 game. So I imagine that the Patriots wouldn't have wanted to give up the home field in the AFC Championship.
It's not up to them. It's up to the league.
Well, what they could have done is just play Monday night, and they would have had a Monday night game.
That is a possibility, but we didn't know what the conditions would be Monday night.
Sure, yeah.
You move it, for example, let's say to Atlanta indoors.
Yeah.
Okay, where you don't have to worry about it because I would think that because look, moving it to Monday night would not be a good idea if the Super Bowl were this coming Sunday. Moving it to Monday night would have been a good idea because the game is 2 weeks away, and that one day is not going to matter over a 14-day period.
Right, exactly.
Okay? And by the way, it wouldn't matter if both number one seeds – the Seattle game was always going to be the late game on Sunday. But the thought would have been is that they might have had to move it to a neutral site if they knew that they couldn't play it because I don't think – even though you have – I don't know what the maybe you know this number because I never really checked what the TV ratings are Monday night versus Sunday 4 p.m. Eastern game.
Oh, I don't know that. I mean,
and the reason being is that people are at home on Sunday. Yeah. They work on Monday. They might not all be able to get home for the. Remember, that's part of the reason why they changed it from a 9:00 start to what's it now? 5:15 on Monday nights.
Yeah, it's like 8:15, 8:20. Well, there's only one. It's only one game on Monday, so as compared to 2, 3, 4 or Sunday 4:00. So, it's a little bit different, but
well, then let's compare it to the Sunday night game.
Right.
What are the ratings on Sunday night versus Monday night?
I don't think you compare that either because the Sunday night's on just regular TV, NBC, and the Monday night games on ESPN. So,
it's also on ABC on Monday nights.
Is it all the time? I thought
I'm pretty sure that is.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure they were on.
So
I know a number of them have been. It may not have been all of them, but I'm pretty sure a number of them were on Monday night. Kind of like I believe I think the college championship was on ESPN and ABC
Monday night. Yeah,
because they're all part of Disney.
Yeah, right. So Sunday Night Football this past year, Sunday Night Football averaged 23.5 million viewers. Monday Night Football averaged 16.5 million viewers.
Okay. But again, Sunday night was considerably. It was 50% higher, right? Basically,
yeah, but I think that some of the games were on ESPN, some on ABC. So
I'm not sure. They were all on ESPN. That we know. I believe all or most of them were on ABC.
I think some of them were. I don't think all of them were.
I'm gonna ask Google here.
our friend Google is always right.
Yes. Okay, Google. During this past season, Monday Night Football was telecast every game on ESPN. How many of those games were also shown simultaneously on the ABC network?
During the 2025-26 season, 10 Monday Night Football games were simulcast on ABC.
Okay, so 10 of the well, it could have been in the first. I don't know if they would have both games of a doubleheader would have been telecast on ABC. Probably not, because there was an overlap there. So I'd say 10 out of the 17 weeks, because there was no Monday night game in week 18.
Yeah.
So, but the point is that the ratings were, what's that?
There were 3 doubleheaders too. So right.
Yeah. The point is that that the Sunday night ratings on average outdrew it, because where I was heading to is the reason why they might not want to move it to Monday night is because the audience draw on Sunday night, or in this case Sunday afternoon, although it was what? It was a 6:30.
Yeah. The Patriots Broncos is 3:00 Eastern, noon Pacific.
Yeah, well, they might have switched that around. They might have switched the time around on that game and get the Patriots game. Well, it would have been on a neutral site, so maybe they might have still felt that the Rams-Seattle game was the more attractive game. Little did they know how right they were. But no, that they would want to get that Sunday night or Sunday audience regardless, and have wanted to play it where they would attract. Again, a lot of it has to do with the ad rates on Sunday versus the ad rates on Monday.
Yeah.
Forget about the TV ratings, which are related, but the revenue, the price for ads is probably more expensive on a Sunday night than it is on a Monday night, given those ratings. So that might have been a reason why they could have considered moving it if they knew what snow was waiting for them. Now, it had nothing to do with the snow in Denver, because that's a regular snowstorm. But when you guys got back east, I understand, like Philadelphia got like about 9-10 inches.
Yeah, I still haven't got my car out, so luckily my wife did. So I used her car today when we went to the grocery store. But
yeah, but no. So that would have been, I think, a reason why getting back to, if New England had that home field advantage, that might have created an issue.
Yeah, it's true. Well, usually they'll postpone a game if they don't want the fans to be they don't want their fans' lives to be in danger. So, which would have been the case had they driven in that nonsense. So they would have postponed it, I assume, till Monday, or moved it to a neutral site game, maybe like a Detroit or something. So anyway, Anyway, we have this from Slew. Patriots fortunate to avoid the 2 good AFC offenses. Hard to confuse those two with the Chargers. No offensive line. Texans no NC, and Broncos Nico Collins and no Broncos Stidham. Yeah, no Bo Nix. It's funny, by the way, with Stidham playing. My dad calls me up and goes, it's like I want to bet on the Patriots. I'm like, oh, why? He's like, no Bo Nix. And I'm like, does it matter? I said to him, we have the saying, is like same SHIT, different toilet. So that's what I said to him. Yeah. But, so anyway,
by the way, the key thing was, before we knew Stidham was going to be out, that Bo Nix was going to be out and be replaced by Stidham, and then we saw that huge line change. We all said it was too much of an overreaction. Yeah. And the reason, part of the reason is, number one, there's not that great of a difference between the unknown Stidham and the known Bo Nix. But more importantly, the issue was that the key to the game was going to be the Denver defense against Drake May.
Yes.
So that was not a factor in the quarterback decision, because you basically, I could understand them making some adjustment, okay, because of the experience. But one of the key factors to the success of the two teams, or certainly Denver's success, was going to be if their defense could do what the Chargers and the Texans defense did against Drake May, and basically they did.
Yep.
But their offense couldn't do anything, and we knew that given Denver's offense really throughout the season, and even with Bo Nix, I mean, yeah, I just read that was Seattle I read the numbers for, but the Denver offense was not all that great during the season as far as producing points.
No, it wasn't. I thought really the only difference between Nix and Stidham was that Nix was able to run more. Now Stidham did run. Yeah. So he, I thought he would be completely immobile, but he wasn't. But Nix would have run more. So I wonder, maybe they could have gotten that 10th point and sent the game to overtime. Maybe the difference between them was a field goal, but they moved the line.
They could have gotten to 10 points if they kicked the field goal in the first quarter.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once the snow came down, they really could have used Nix's scrambling. So
I suppose, but the weather was so bad. Although Drake May, I guess, was able to scramble a little bit in there as well. So, he had what do you have, 66 yards?
65, yeah. Unfortunately, he should have really 68 before the kneel down. So let's not forget how we lost that. So that was pretty brutal. But yeah, I think in the snow they could have used his mobility. But anyway, let's look at.
Well, by the way, you know what they? Well, I guess it wouldn't do it because I mean it sounds nice and it would have helped you. Hand the ball off to a running back, have him go back 5 yards to kneel down, but you don't want to even risk that. So the quarterback has to be the one to kneel down. That's a question of how far back do you go, which would obviously destroy a lot of statistics if he said, I'm going to go back 15 yards and we're going to run the clock out.
Right.
I always thought which by the way, they wouldn't do it because they're going to let as much of the 40 seconds go off between first and second down anyway.
Right. I always thought that quarterback kneel down shouldn't count for rushing yards, or I thought maybe they'd.
Or be a separate category.
Right, or have him kneel down once and be like, okay, like have him go off the field, kind of like curtain call and bring in the backup quarterback to kneel down.
That would be nice to say he had playing time for a champion, for Super Bowl bound team.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't do that more because they do that in the NBA. Like they have the curtain calls all the time in like regular season games.
They would occasionally do it in the NFL. Sometimes it'd be different in this situation because they were on the road, but sometimes at home you would pull like a Josh Allen out in a game where they're about to win in the playoffs, especially, and let him get the ovation from the crowd.
Right. Which I guess you wouldn't do on the road, but still,
no.
I don't know. Anyway, I was just still salty about that.
I can understand.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to some of these props.
I'm going to read something about the props, and let me get your thoughts on this because I put this out every year in the Super Bowl edition of the newsletter. I call. And we can go one by one if you want. I could read them all. It says, let me get down to that page, which I call it, if I can get down there, that's how it is. Key points to consider when playing props. Number one, when looking to play props, look for sports books that offer a 20-cent line rather than a 30-cent line for competitively priced props, where the minus part of the prop is generally priced at minus 150 or lower. That is, a 20-cent line will have an evenly priced prop at minus 110 for each side of the prop. A 30-cent line would have that same prop priced at minus 115 each way. So you want to, that brings sort of to my second point because, I'll just look for the 30-cent line if I'm looking at a prop. Key point number two, be sure to read the, quote, fine print attached to a prop. There are often key differences or conditions at different sports books on prop that appear similar or even identical. Often, these will relate to conditions that might result in a refund, such as no action, whether the events that occur in overtime are considered as part of the second half of the game results, etc. An example might be a sportsbook that offers the wager on the number of Chiefs to score at 3.5, and another sportsbook will have that prop at 4.5. The first sportsbook may exclude a player who scores on a successful 2-point conversion or on a safety. The second book might include both such players. So it's important to read the fine print as far as that goes, like especially one such as a player must play, which is, I guess, the no action. Such as May has to play, must play for any of his props to have action. Mm-hmm. Number three, when evaluating props involving yards, attempts, receptions, etc., it may be best to not just look at the related season averages, but rather to the number of times the specific number was exceeded or fallen short of during the season. As an extreme, though simplistic example, a running back may have gained 150 yards. A running back may have gained 50 yards in 16 games and run for 210 yards in the other game. So a total of 260 yards. His total yardage, and I have this wrong, he ran for 50 yards a game in 16 games, so that's 800 yards, and then 210 yards in the 17th game. So his total yardage for the season of 1,010 works out to a 17-game average of 59.4 yards per game, a total he would have exceeded only once. So in other words, use medians or use the number of times that specific number has been exceeded or fallen short of, rather than using the average number. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Point number 4. Another way of evaluating such props would be to look at the median result. Okay, of the category, the midpoint at which the player exceeded the prop number the same number of times that the player fell short. As an example, if a player had receptions over a 5-game stretch of 2, 0, 6, 8, 3, the median would be 3. But the average would be 3.8, because if you numerically, you're looking for out of the 5, the one that is the third highest, which would also be the third lowest. 0, 2, 3, 6, 8 puts it at 3, but the average is 3.8. If the 6-game results were 2, 0, 6, 8, 3, 7, then the median would be 4.5, which is the average of the third and fourth totals, resulting in 3 games above and 3 games below the 4.5 average. The average of the 6 games would be 4.3. That's just another way. And finally, understand that for most part, the public at large, i.e. casual or once-a-year bettors, will tend to think in positive terms and thus will gravitate towards playing yes rather than no and over rather than under. Thus, the intrinsic value in most props will be on the no and the under.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So, your thoughts on those 5?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said. Like, yeah, absolutely. You really should shop around, as you're saying, like looking for the 20-cent odds. I think it's really important to have access to multiple.
But just as important, as I got to reset the camera, just as important though is the total. And I know that's important for you and everyone when you do ladders.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when you do ladders, you're stuck at whatever book you're playing the ladder, unless you have time and you have multiple books on your screen at the same time. But, like rushing yards might be over 53.5 for at one book, and the number at another book may be 56.5 or 49.5.
Sure.
Now, the VIG will probably be different, but we don't know which way it could go depending upon, which book has which number, although you would think that over 49.5 is going to be priced a lot more expensively more expensively than over 52.5 or over 56.5.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
must be having an earthquake in my internet connection. It doesn't do anything. It's weird because it doesn't do it. Here it is again. It doesn't do anything with the. It doesn't. Yeah, that one that usually does not do anything with the audio. It did that time, but the video comes in there. So yeah, it's important. It's very important to read the fine print, because most people will just take a look at the prop and not realize that there are conditions to it. Sometimes there'll be an asterisk there. Sometimes they may include it in smaller print under the size of the regular print that describes the prop. Mm-hmm. And of course, again, the different numbers that you may be looking at as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you need to know the rules of it and such. So something I put on the screen here is the site called unabated.com. Not affiliated with them, but I
heard about that site. Does that include lines and stuff?
Yeah. So
from different books.
Yes. Here at Drake May Rushing. So if you're looking to Drake May Rushing, you have access to all the sports books. So it says FanDuel's 30 over 36.5 minus 110. DraftKings over 37.5 minus 110. So if you're looking for the over, you want to do it in FanDuel. If you're looking for the under, you want to do it on DraftKings.
By the way, what books does that site have? Do they have offshore only, or do they have Vegas books?
So FanDuel, DraftKings, Fanatics, Bookmaker, which is offshore, Sharp, The Score, Novig, Prize Picks, Bet365, ProfitX, Pick 6, Sleeper, Fliff, Hard Rock, BetMGM, Caesars, Bet Online, Bovada, Sugar House, Bet Rivers, Parks Casino, and Underdog. So
no Vegas books.
No Vegas books, yeah. I find this useful. It's a good shortcut to try to find the best line.
I would certainly recommend that if that's where you're betting.
Yeah. So anyway, to get back to what you said about the 20-cent line, looks like FanDuel is doing that for all of these. Whereas DraftKings has a 24-cent line here. So it's not as good, but look, sometimes it may not matter. Like if you're going under 74.5 on Walker, you're getting minus 110, which is the same thing as FanDuel. So it really depends on what you're looking at. And just this, I always stress this, try to get the best number. If you're going to buy a TV, you don't go to the first store and just buy a TV unless you're super rich. Just you want to shop around. That's what you want to do with your sportsbook bets.
You have to weigh, however you want to do it, the difference in the number for the event and the vig attached to that number.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
because as you say, as you pointed out in your example for what was it, that first one for Walker, the number was different, but the vig was both 110 or something like that.
Walker. The over is minus 114. The under is minus 110. So if you're looking about the under, it doesn't.
What is it at the other? What is it at the other book?
So a book.
The one to the left. The one to the left of the one you just.
FanDuel's minus 110 both ways. So.
And but the same number.
Same number, yeah.
What's the rushing number on that? Rushing yards.
74.5.
So 74.5 at both. But they're minus 110 both ways, so that's a 20-cent line at what's it, FanDuel?
FanDuel, yeah.
And at minus 110 and what's the other one? Minus
114.
Is it?
So 24.
Oh, so 24-cent line. Okay, yeah.
So
so if you're betting the under right now, bet either place wherever you have the account. If you have an account at both places, it's not going to matter. If you're going to play the over, you definitely want to do the FanDuel at minus 110. Then minus 114. That all adds up, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So, shop around. I think that's one way to look at it. Read the fine print, as you said. I agree that casuals will tend to go over, not all the time, but most of the time. And what was the other ones that you said, or the other two rules?
Let me see. Well, I talked about the public at large likes to think yes and over. The public tends to play yes rather than no and over rather than under. So therefore, intrinsic value generally will be in the no and the under. And that usually don't last long, as the big money bettors will also play unders, but they wait for some of the over numbers to move up.
Right.
Then I also said, take a look at the number of times a player has achieved a result versus not achieving. How many times has gone over the number and stayed under versus the average for the season. And I use that extreme example of the 50 yards per game. He only exceeded it once when he had 210 yards. And it's unrealistic, but it emphasizes the significance of it.
And I would just say that it just means don't be lazy, because if you look at someone's number, like and the Kenneth Walker, let's use a random running back for example. It says like, oh, he averaged 86.5 rushing yards per game.
Right.
Let me bet the over 74.5. That is being lazy, because you have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right now. As a matter of fact, just to give what's the number, 74.5.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get his log for the year, just to give you an idea. And this will be
Zach Charbonnet was included there, So
say that again.
Which it's tough to do for you could probably do that for Drake May instead, but for Walker it's tough to do because
I'm going to do it for Walker anyway, just to give you an idea. Okay. Because it'll always be, he does have a backup that can take over a little bit, but okay. I'll start with game one against the 49ers at home. 20 yards, 105, 38, 81, 86, 34, 66, 42, 67, 67, 71, 56, 29, 17, 100, 51, 92, 116, and last week 62.
Okay, that's 1,200 rushing.
Now what was the number? What's his number? 74.5.
Yeah. How many games?
Okay, one under, 2 under, 3 unders, 4 unders, 5 unders, 6 unders, 7 unders, 8 unders, 9 unders, 10 unders, 11 unders, 12 unders, 13 unders out of 19 games.
Was it 19? That's an average 63.2 rushing yards per game. but again, Zach Charbonnet was included in that, and
That's
there's no
true.
Charbonnet anymore. So
Now, however, keep in mind he's also going up against one of the better rush defenses in the league.
absolutely, yeah. So there's a lot of factors.
What did Denver run against New England last week? It wasn't that much, I believe.
RV ran for 37 yards.
Let's see, the entire team for Denver ran for 79.
Yeah, some of that was quarterback rush.
New England won. New England, and a lot of it was Drake May, 141.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Denver had the weaker run defense than New England. New England's run defense has improved a lot since Milton Williams came back from injury. So,
well, that's also part of Denver's, weaker without Dobbins in there. Also, their run offense was not very strong. I mean, 24. Well, 24 for 79 is about 4.5 yards, a little under 4.5 yards per attempt. Mm-hmm. New England 38 for 141 is under 4 yards per attempt.
Right. Yeah. Don't forget the negative 3-yard loss.
Oh yeah.
In there. How can you forget? Anyway, so no, I agree with those what you're saying. So let's I don't know if you wanted to dive into any of these I don't know, like alternate point spreads. It's kind of funny that like basically on FanDuel and DraftKings you could basically choose any number you want, whereas here they only offer a few, it looks like. Okay, so that's funny. They have a whole index. I like how the heads and tails are minus 101 because on FanDuel they're minus 104, which is a total ripoff. Minus 101 is even total ripoff. But if you have a profit boost, you get like a 20% boost. Like, why not, right? It's you're flipping a coin at what, like 55%. So
well, see, these sports books don't realize that they have an opportunity to advertise. We even have, and maybe you use two of them that are priced at even money, that are no vig props. One of them being the coin toss, and I don't know, some other one that is independent of either team. And you can advertise. We even have no vig props. There may only be 2 out of 2,000 of them. But, hey, do something nice. And what better thing nice would be than to do the coin toss, which is truly a 50-50 proposition. There were a couple of books here in Vegas who actually did that for a couple of years.
They'll have to make sure the official can get the edge, and so everyone loses.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they'd redo it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have a bunch of things here. I don't know if you wanted to talk about any things on this page. We're on page 2. So I mean, let me know, because there's so many.
I don't. Yeah, until I have an opinion on the game or the total, I don't analyze these until we get later. I mean, there are people now who say, well, the Seahawks are going to win, and it's going to be a blowout. I'll lay the 24.5 at 10-1 odds. Okay.
What the odds are?
Alternate point spreads plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000.
Which is 10-1.
I wonder how that's different on FanDuel. Let's look at the odds, because I think we might have alternate spreads, but I'm not sure if we have them yet. We do. Okay. 24 minus 24.5, right? You said? Yeah.
Oh, you can some other one using key numbers beginning with 7.5.
Here we go. So Seattle minus 24.5, 13-1 on FanDuel.
Okay, so, better there. What's the minus on that?
What do you mean minus what?
In other words, if you want to go under.
Oh,
I'm sorry. The plus. Yeah.
Plus 24.5 is minus 5,000.
Okay, so it's plus 1,300 on the much lesser likely occurrence, yes. And the most plus 24.5. So you've got a spread of minus 5,000 plus 1,300. At Westgate, it's minus 2,000 plus 1,000.
Right? Isn't that funny? It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like they want you to bet the 24.5 there, but not to bet the plus 24.5.
Say that again.
They want you to bet the minus 24.5, but they don't want you to bet the plus 24.5.
Are you talking about a FanDuel?
Yes, and I think it's because they do a lot of like same game parlays, and they don't want their parlays to be like bloated or anything.
Correlated, yeah.
Right. So
yeah. Yeah, like for example, and you take a look at those no parlays on special point spreads.
Okay, there you go. That's why. That's why it's only minus 2,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they know that they're probably not going to write too much business on the minus 2,000. Although when the takeback is only plus 1,000, that's not an unfair or unreasonable spread. It's not an unreasonable. In other words, 15-1 odds that it lands. Well, it can't land exactly on 24.5, but basically that's the midpoint. So I normally don't do that. Now let's get down to past the notes page. One thing I did for many years, and it used to work, but it hasn't been very good the last few years, was I would always play the first pass attempt by the quarterback to be incomplete, which was normally plus about 200, plus 200, and minus like 280 or something on the no. But the last few years, the first pass has generally been complete. But given the inexperience of the two quarterbacks in this game, I might look to see. I'm trying to see where it is here.
Okay.
And unfortunately, will Drake May score a touchdown? It'll be here somewhere.
Yeah, these are just touchdown props. And by the way, I found something very strange here. So Drake May is passing yards over 222.5 is minus 110.
I'm sorry, say that one again.
So on
Drake
FanDuel, I have this on the screen here. So Drake May's passing yards over 225.5 is minus 110. If you parlay that with the Patriots plus 24.5, you get minus 118. Can you understand why?
Wait, no. Say that one again now.
So Drake May's passing yards over 222.5 is.
What's the price on that?
Minus 110.
Okay, and the Patriots plus 24.5.
If you parlay that with Patriots plus
24.5. What's the plus 24.5 price at? That's 13 plus 1,300.
No, that's minus 5,000.
Minus 5,000.
Yeah.
Okay, it's as if you laid $1.18.
Yeah. If you parlay this, it's minus 118. So like.
So it's as if you bet 118 to win 100.
Yeah.
If you parlay those two together.
But
that shows just how strong the minus 5,000 is, that it has that big of an impact.
But why would
you parlay them together?
I'm just saying, like, why would it move from minus 110 to minus 118? That seems crazy. You just bet the minus 110.
Where's the minus 118? Or the minus 110? Where's the minus? No, I can't see it on the screen. I've got something else on my screen right now.
It literally says Drake May over 222.5 is minus 110. If you parlay minus 110 with minus 5,000, you get minus 118. Should it be like still minus 110 or minus 109?
It should be a little bit less than that.
Yeah. Why would the price increase? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think the math. Hold on a second, and let me.
It should probably still be minus 110. Like,
Yeah, let me switch my computer screen here yet again, and I'm going to do that here.
At least
okay, hold on a second here. No, I want you. What's that? I want you to. Okay. Let's do $100 wager. Okay, there are going to be two teams in the parlay, and one is plus 1,300.
No, one is minus 5,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going the other way. Okay, minus 50.
5,000. Yeah.
And the other is
minus 110.
No, that's you get back for your $100 wager. You make $94.73. So you're making less than even money, which is the minus 118.
Yeah, but that's not minus 118. That's like, what's 100 to win 94? It's like because minus 118 is 100 to win 85.
Yeah, so maybe they're not computing it right.
Yeah, they can't be. This doesn't make sense at all.
You're saying okay, so now so where did you get the minus 118, or did you do the calculation?
That's what they gave me for parlaying them together. This doesn't make any sense.
So it's minus 50 and minus 50.0 and minus 1.1.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's showing 0.95 to 1 is what you get back.
Right. Yeah,
which something's wrong about that.
Yeah, it would make more sense than this. Yeah, it should be like minus 106 or something.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe there's a stupidity factor in there. If you're willing to lay 5,000, you got to be penalized just for that, just for making that bet.
That's true. Yeah, it's stupidity bet. I can see that. That makes sense.
No, I mean, seriously, because I mean, I'm pretty sure my math was correct. Let me see here where the first reception. I want to see first reception, first rushing attempt. Okay, yeah, they don't have it there, so it may be on the. Oh, these are the parlays that they allow you to do. Okay, will Sam Darnold score a touchdown? Yes, it's 10-1. That's not totally unreasonable. Okay, let's see. Will Hunter Henry?
Usually, I'm not a fan of the touchdown props. Usually,
No, I will play. Will X player score a touchdown? Not necessarily the first or the last.
Right. Yeah.
If you're like Kenneth Walker to score a touchdown, I mean, I don't know what it is as far as the price is concerned, but
it's minus 200 here
to score at least a touchdown. It doesn't specify when it's
Yeah.
Team to score first: Seattle minus 125, Patriots plus 105. I usually play the underdog.
Yeah.
Especially in a competitively priced game, which this sort of is.
Mm-hmm.
Will either team score in the final 3.5 minutes of the game? The yes is minus 200. The no is plus 170.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Will both teams have the lead in the first half? Okay. See, here's one of the fine print points. Will both teams have the lead in the first half? For a yes to occur, both teams must be winning at some point in the first half. Lead is defined as having more points than your opponents. Now, what's interesting there, because there are some other props, is that normally, or many places will say, as far as the lead is concerned, scores before extra points or 2-point conversions don't count.
Okay.
It doesn't say that here. So in other words, let's say you're up 6-0, and or you're up 7-0, and then the other team. Well, I guess they could go for 2 and get up 8-7 or something like that. But I'm trying to think where I saw it occur. At some point, they had it there. Will there be a lead change in the fourth quarter? Okay, maybe this is where it is. So let me get out my little magnifier here.
It's so small.
Yeah,
I can read it.
Will the game be tied after 0-0? Scores counted after completion of extra point or 2-point conversion. So in other words, let's say Seattle gets a field goal, and the field goal is 6 and they're up 6-0, and the Patriots score a touchdown to make it 6-6. That does not count as a tie unless the extra point or 2-point conversion is missed.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah. So okay. In fact, here it is. Patriots. Okay. Example: Seahawks up 6-0, and Patriots score TD to make it 6-6 and make extra point. Patriots then lead 7-6, and that's the final score. So no would be the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Will there be a missed extra point kick? Will either team score in the first 4.5 minutes? Oh, that's one of my worst bad beats ever. I had will either team score in the first? I want to say it was like 7 minutes of the game. And I'm going back to that. I think I may have talked about it a year or two ago. The Baltimore Giants Super Bowl, where there was no scoring. And then as the clock was about to hit the first 7 minutes, the Ravens scored like on a 38-yard touchdown or something. So the no was a loser.
Wow, we have some bad beat grievances tonight.
Oh, there are plenty of them, yeah. Let's see. I will often play, will there be a special team or defensive touchdown in the game? Doesn't matter when it occurs or who does it. Now, they do offer here. Now, see, one of the things that I did mention, will Seattle have a defensive touchdown? Will New England have a defensive touchdown? Those obviously are priced more favorably than just will either team do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because you got one half 50% less. Will there be? I'm trying to find a couple here. I'm still trying to find the quarterback prop.
Okay, I think that touchdown. I remember the touchdowns for the defenses, I was kind of looking at myself. So,
team to call the timeout first. See, and this one's priced at -110. See, that's another one. That's another one that they could price at even money.
Yeah, that's true.
And largest lead of the game is 14.5 with the under -130. The one that gets a lot of people, and let me see, I saw that earlier, is will either team score 3 straight times?
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually priced as the yes -270 and the no plus 240 or something like that. And most people think, oh, no, they're going to score 3 times in a row. And I believe it happens more often than it doesn't.
Yeah, I remember doing research on that. And
by the way, that's another one where extra points and 2-point conversions do not count.
Right. Yeah, it says excludes extra points, 2-point conversions, includes safety.
Includes safety, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, you're looking at the Westgate one?
Yeah. I'm on the screen.
What's the prop number on that one?
Yes is -170. No is
no. What's the identification number? The 5-digit number.
10,001, 10,002.
Oh, 10,001.
Yeah. 10,001.
Okay, yeah. 1,001, yeah. Well, 10,001, yeah.
10,000, yeah. Same thing. Yeah.
The yes is -170, the no is +150. But then look at what happens when you go to the 4 straight times.
It's
huge difference. The yes is now a huge underdog, +330.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah. But no, I'll take a look at the team to score first. In other words, I tend to look at a lot of props that are irrelevant to who you think is going to win the game or who may actually win the game. For example, the team to score first does not bear necessarily any relationship to who's going to win the game.
Yeah.
Okay? So you may think the Patriots are going to win, or the Seahawks are going to win the game, but they're giving me 105 for, who knows who's going to get the ball first.
Right.
Team to score last. That's a little bit more, but still, again, you may like Seattle to win the game, but that doesn't mean they're going to get the last score. Maybe New England gets the last score to pull closer.
Yeah, garbage time, sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me see here. Will either team score? Yeah, I'm still in the 1-0-0 field goals.
I believe the Chiefs scored last year.
They scored a lot last. It was 40-6, as I recall, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And that was 2 touchdowns, and I guess it was 40. Was it 40-22 because there were some 2-point conversions there.
Yep.
Team to use the first coach's challenge. Here's one. Will the game be decided by exactly 1 point, by 2 points? I think they have that somewhere. That will have scored by exactly 20 points. Will the game be decided by exactly 21 points? -150 on the no, +30-1 on the yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Total fumbles. Will the game be decided? Will there be a special teams or a defensive touchdown? No is -330. Yes is +270. I play that one every year.
Okay.
Total quarterback sacks. This one's interesting. 5.5. Over is +110. Under is -130. Considering the relative inexperience of the 2 quarterbacks and the fact that both teams have good defenses, it's not unreasonable to think there would be 6 or more sacks.
Yeah, especially because Drake May has taken so many. You would think
five in each of his last 3 games in the playoffs.
Right.
Will there be a 2-point here's one. Will there be a 2-point conversion attempt? And defensive 2-point conversions are excluded.
Mm-hmm.
So the yes is +120. No is -140. There's a 20-point line. Will there be a successful 2-point conversion? Again, defensive 2 points don't count. Here, the yes is +290.
Okay.
So often I will split my whatever my unit size is. I'll split it in half, and I'll do half of it on the attempt and half of it on successful. Because if even just the half hits, I'm getting +120.
Right.
So if I bet 100 on the yes on the attempt and 100 on the conversion, and the conversion is successful, I'm going to make $20 on the 200.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a 10% return on the combined bet, with a chance of making 410 +120 and +290.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Will both teams, now this is different. Will both teams attempt a 2-point conversion? Here, the yes is plus 550 and the no is minus 800.
Right.
Okay, that's a little bit more difficult, and I don't know that it's being compensated for. Will both teams convert a 2-point conversion? Here, the no is actually, maybe something to look at. The yes is plus 1100. The no is minus 2500.
Jeez, parlay that one.
No, but see, we can't parlay on Westgate at this one, and most Vegas books do not allow you to parlay other than a handful number. Right. That's where it's lacking from the offshore. But the offshore compensates it for their horrible spreads between plus and minus.
Yeah, and
that's where they make their money. They encourage parlays because they know if people are betting minus 2,500 or plus 1,100, and they parlay it to another thing. Like let's say you parlay the attempted 2-point conversion to the successful 2-point conversion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you hit it, that's nice. If you bet the no and you win, you're not going to collect a lot because you might. Well, obviously, if you bet the no for the will there be a attempt, you obviously can't parlay it, or unless you're an idiot, with the will there be a successful 2-point conversion on the yes. You can parlay it with the no. But you're laying minus 8, like the one we had before with the minus 5,000 and the minus 110. Mm-hmm. Here you're laying minus 800 and minus 2,500.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a little. Then will the score be okay? Here's the one. Will the final score of Super Bowl 60 be the same as any previous past Super Bowl? Plus 400 on the yes, minus 500 on the no. I'm going to do some research on it. I'm probably not going to play it, but I want to see how many common scores, especially if the total is close, although the total isn't necessarily close. In other words, 24-21 is a 45. How many times does that happen? 27-14 or something like that. And you put them all together, and there have been 59 Super Bowls. So maybe we find out of the 59 Super Bowls, well, again, you can't have more than 29 of them all been identical. That's the maximum, because it takes 2 games for scores to be identical, right?
Yeah.
So that reduces the 59 Super Bowls to 29. Well, 28 actually, because in theory you could have 28 identical scores, and then the 29th is the game that is the matching number hasn't been played yet, because this is only Super Bowl 60, which I guess could be the same, but basically. Minus 500 on that is probably not a bad wager, because I can't see more than maybe 4, if that many, identical scores in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So minus 500.
There might be something here. As you said, do research.
Yeah,
I'd like to
see. That's easy to research.
Yeah. I think if some of the likely results have happened, like 23-20, 27-24.
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to see. Let me see if I have it here.
We can probably pull it up. Super Bowl.
Yeah, I have something where I can just take a look at all the scores.
So we had 35-10, 33-14, 16-7, 23-7, 16-13 is the likely result, 24-3, 14-7, 24-7, 16-6, 21-17, 32-14, 27-10, 35-31, 31-19, 27-10, 26-21, 27-17, 38-9, 38-16, 46-10, 39-20, 42-10, 20-16, 55-10, not likely to happen there. 20-19, 37-24, 52-17, 30-13, 49-26, 27-17. I think that's our first repeat, I believe.
I'm going to tell you. Go ahead.
35-21, 31-24, 34-19, 23-16, 34-7, 20-17. There's so many more.
Well, I'm going to do it. See, I have on the computer somewhere. I'm just going to go back to like 1988. So I'm going to do this here. Hold on, team. Okay.
I'm not seeing a 23-20, which is
a common score.
A very common score. Yeah, I'm not seeing one. So 48-21, 32-29, 24-21, 21-10, 29-17, 17-14, 27-23, 31-17, 31-25, 21-17 is the repeat, 34-31, 43-8, 20-24, 24-10, 34-28, 41-33, 13-3, 31-20, 31-9, 23-20. Oh, there we go. 23-20 right there.
Okay, there you go.
38-35, 25-22, 40-22. And then
Okay, I'm taking a look at let's see here. Total points scored in the Super Bowl, and I've done it from. Okay, so obviously I have to have two where the total points are identical. How you get there? So okay, we've had two 69s, 52-17 and 48-21. We've had two 65s, 55-10, 34-31. A pair of 62s. Those were not identical. A pair of 61s. Those are not identical. A pair of 56s. Those are not identical. A pair of 43s were not identical. A pair of 39s that were not identical. A pair of 31s that were not identical. But that does not include like the first 22 Super Bowls or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So which ones did you say that there were a couple of identicals? 23-20?
No, there's only one 23-20. There was 27-17 came up twice.
That's 44. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, the first one must have been probably before 1988.
Yeah.
Because I'm showing 27-17. Oddly enough, in that Dallas-Pittsburgh one that I showed the props for before.
Yeah, 27-17 happened twice. I think 24-21, I believe. I'm not sure.
I have a 34-7. What'd you say? 24-21 or
yeah,
what was it? 24-21. Yeah, I have that in New England, Philly in 2004.
Yeah.
So no, that one must have been earlier. But yeah, but I would take a look at that. I would say, well, let's see, minus 500. Okay, means what? Out of every six. Let's say there's 5 out of 500 would be 10 out of 60.
Right.
Okay. So the odds would be in order for to have occurred 5-1, you'd have need 10 that were identical and 50 that were not identical.
Yeah.
Because that would say that the odds of there being two identical scores in 60 events would be 5-1. Because you'd have 50 that were not, and 10 that were.
Yeah.
And it looks as though, from what you've said, that it's probably, I said 3 or 4. Well, you've already spotted 2, I think you said?
I think so, yeah. I can't see the other one. I think there were 2. I think there were 2 repeats. So,
okay, let me do this here. Hold on a second here.
I think 20-16 happened twice. I think.
I have a 20-16 in San Francisco, Cincinnati.
Oh no, never mind.
That's the one I was at. I was at that one. Okay, index on
21-17. Yeah, 21-17 happened twice, and 27-17 happened twice.
Okay. Were those the 2 that you already had, or
right. There were there are 3 repeats actually. 27-10 was a repeat.
Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, okay. 27-10. That must have been very early.
Yeah, it is.
I know Super Bowl 15 was Philadelphia, Oakland,
and Super Bowl 12. So.
Oh, that was what, Dallas, Denver?
Yes. Okay, so 27-10 was a repeat. 27-17 was a repeat. There was Super Bowl 17 and Super Bowl 30.
Okay, hold on a second.
Which we pulled up here, by the way.
Okay, I don't have the file that I thought I had. Okay.
Yeah. And
so I'm going to say that the minus 500 might not be a bad wager on its own. And keep in mind that the 2-point conversion, which really bastardizes a lot of the final scores, came in 1994.
Yeah.
So you had different scoring methods in the first 20. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3. I guess about the first 26 or 27 Super Bowls than you had since then.
Mm-hmm. And I think that a team's going for 2 now. If they're down 14, they score a touchdown and they go for 2. That has changed scoring a lot as well.
I'm sorry. Say that again. Now, if what now?
So teams that are down 14 and score a touchdown, they are late in the game. They'll
often go for 2 on the first touchdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's changed scoring as well.
Which I don't necessarily agree with for a very simple reason. And again, it's not statistical. Let's say you score the touchdown. Well, the thing is, do you want to go for the win after you score the second touchdown? In other words, let's say you're down by 14, and let's assume that there's only going to be 2 scores left and the team down is going to get them. You score to make it an 8-point game, okay? You can tie it up if you kick the extra point, okay? If you don't tie it up and you score the next touchdown, you have to go for 2.
Yes.
Okay? So I would prefer to just kick the extra point after the first touchdown to draw within 7, because then if you score again, then you have the option of going for the tie or going for the win.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to if you miss that 2-point conversion, the best you can do is tie the game. You don't have an opportunity to win it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that Chicago Rams game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that wasn't the situation. Well, I don't know. No, it wasn't, because I think it was a 10-10 tie. The Rams went up 17-10, and then Chicago tied it at 17, rather than go for the 2 points to win it, which they ended up losing in overtime. But yeah, I would much rather make the decision at the end of the game for 2 reasons. Okay, number one, you have a chance now to decide: do you want to play for overtime or do you want to go for the win on one play? And number 2, the team that you're going against has just given up a 14-point lead or 13-point lead and could lose the game. They might be not exactly in the best frame of mind, especially if it's a Super Bowl or a conference championship or any playoff game for that matter. You may have them shaking their heads as, what the hell did we just do in the last 5 minutes? We blew the Super Bowl, or we might blow the Super Bowl.
Right. Well, the real kick in the balls would be going for 2, converting it, and then missing the extra point after you score the second touchdown.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's it's a small percentage, but it's not 0.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's probably 2 or 3% that you would miss it. I mean, obviously the I don't want to say. Well, I guess there is pressure on the kicker because, but the thing is though, if you miss it, you don't lose the game.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You still have a chance, and that was basically the decision that Johnson made against the Rams. It says, well, we kick the extra point, we don't lose the game at that point.
Right.
If they missed it, yes, they would have.
Yeah, exactly.
But at that point, see, one of the reasons why I would have gone for the 2, and yeah, I know he said, well, we weren't having much success on those plays. Yeah, but you didn't have the advancing to the championship game, riding on the kick, and the Rams couldn't play defense to stop. Well, look, it took probably one of the 10 greatest plays of all time to get you in position to have that, to get you in position to make that decision without rescission.
Yeah, it's someone.
But it was an admonition that you better make the right call.
Someone said Rams minus 3.5 is not happy about that one. Yeah, it was very rough.
Well, it wouldn't. Well, it wouldn't have mattered either way, would it?
No, I mean,
if the Bears went for the 2, they either win or lose.
No. I mean, you referred to one of the greatest plays we've seen, to get into that.
Oh position. To get the tying 6 point, well, the potentially tying 6 points. Yeah.
So that was rough. So. Yeah. Anyway, anything else you're seeing for the props? I've got a few already. I want to run by you.
You can go ahead. Well, I'm looking for this. Let's see. I'm just trying to. Oh, okay. Here's the first. Okay, here's the first bet. First pass by Sam Darnold. Complete is minus 240. Incomplete is plus 200. Okay. I'm going to play the incomplete again. Now, Drake May, I'm going to say, is probably, what did I say? It's minus 240 plus 200. I'm going to say Drake May's first pass will probably be, I'm going to say, minus 210, because I think that he may have a better chance of, I think they do all the Seattle players first, so let me get to the New England players.
Yeah, this is all
Okay,
Seattle
Drake
players.
May. Okay, Seattle. Okay. Okay, Drake May, over under.
It's so
Yeah,
hard to find.
Yeah, that's the problem with total gross first quarter rushing yards. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me go back to see where I found. I should have made a note of the number here because it would tell me what total completion. Okay, first. Oh, okay. It's okay. First by Darnold. Okay, it's one of the first props by Darnold. Let me see. The first individual prop that I'm seeing is gross passing yards.
Okay, so
And then first
the
quarter.
Drake May one is 10-4-5-7. 10457.
Okay, let me get up there. 10457.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see the way they do it here. 4, 5, 7. Okay. Oh, it's the same. Okay, minus 240 plus 200.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And by the thing, and here's another one: interception equals incomplete.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. So
whenever you see the alert, touchdown on an incomplete pass, it's pick six.
Say that again.
Whenever you see the alert, I have the alerts on every play that happen. When you see touchdown, incomplete pass, it's a pick six. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's because when you take again, it goes into attempts, but not into completions.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, you see a line, 21 for 35, one interception.
Mm-hmm.
The one interception is already included as an attempt, but obviously not as a completion. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I look at those. I don't do an awful lot with the individual player props to the extent that it has any impact upon who I think will win the game. It's just a question of whether the number seems to make sense. I mean, the best one I had a couple of years ago was it Ujalek on San Francisco catching the first reception having the first reception.
Juszczyk, yeah.
Juszczyk, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like 25-1 or something like that.
Okay.
And I was listening to a show the night before, and someone was talking about that they had taken a look and they had expected, and I don't know if they had inside information or something, but that Juszczyk was going to be part of the early game plan of the scripted plays or something like that.
Okay. Did you have any MVP?
Yes. I think did I mention it to you before we started? I think I may have.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. Just because I thought the odds were a little high, and as it turns out, the odds I got were higher, I think, than anywhere else I saw. What do they show the odds for Cooper Kupp?
80-1 here.
Yeah, I got him at 100-1.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and remember, number one, he's one of the few players on either team that has Super Bowl experience.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, he won the MVP when the Rams won a few years ago.
Yeah, I wonder what he is. He's 90-1 on DraftKings, so you definitely have the best number. Anyone else for MVP that you were looking at?
Not yet. Well, okay, here's one, and I forget what I was talking about. Okay, what's the current money line on the Patriots to win the game?
On the Westgate, it is plus 195.
Okay, what's the price on Drake May to be MVP?
I believe it's like plus 230. Let me see. He is. These are Seattle players. It's Drake May. I'm not seeing it.
They usually list all the players for one team and then all the players for the next team.
Okay. Let's see.
Here it is. Okay. Drake May is 5-2 plus 250.
Okay, this is
that's 1-2-0-0-1-6. Well, the odds are quarterback's going to win an MVP, right?
Yeah, probably.
So why, instead of playing plus 195 on the money line, why not play Drake May at the MVP?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I guess like what if it's a defensive player? Sometimes you see those.
Yeah, but the defense. I mean, unless it's like a 13-10 game, and neither quarterback, one of them has one touchdown and one interception, and the other one has 2 touchdowns and 162 yards for the game, and one guy intercepts 2 passes. Then you might give it to the defensive player, or and we have had receivers. I think Jerry Rice won it once. A couple of receivers have won it, including.
I think.
What's that?
Deion Branch won once, I think.
Yeah, and I think another one did. Was it Edelman? Did he win one?
Yeah, I think so.
For the Patriots,
yeah,
and of course Cooper Kupp did. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think they have won more MVPs than running backs have.
It's hard for running backs to win MVP. I wouldn't bet that in this game.
No.
So
do I think Cooper Kupp's going to win it? No. But do I think it's poorly priced? Yet. Why? Because he's experienced, and he figures to be getting less coverage than JSN and Shareed.
Yeah, Shaheed. Yeah.
So he may be. Shaheed. So he may be. So Kupp may have more. Let me see if I've got his log, because I don't think he didn't catch a lot of passes in the regular season.
Cooper Kupp. He caught like 40 passes or so.
Yeah, I thought I saw 37, but let me see here.
I just did.
Let me go to their roster.
I just did his fantasy rankings for 2026, and his numbers were low.
Okay, 47 for 593. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Let me see his game by game log. Okay. 4, 5, 2, 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 6, 4, 2, 7, 2. That's going backwards.
Sounds like Data's password in Star Trek. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No, what's that one now? What?
They ever saw Star Trek Next Generation. Data set this crazy password. It was like 30 or 40 digits long, and so they calculate it would take them like 5 billion years to crack it or something. So
with all the possible combinations, yeah. 10 to the 40th power, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
anywhere from 0 to 9. What's that?
Well, not even 10, because it was there were some letters involved as well.
Oh, okay. So it'd be more. Okay. Yeah, like when FedEx uses you can send a document if you email a document to FedEx, and then you can print it out if you don't want to use your printer or whatever. You want to make multiple copies, and so you send it to them, and they send you an email back with the code for your specific document, and it consists of, I think, 4 numbers and 3 letters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of unique combinations, because you got 26 times 26 times 26 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10.
Yeah, that's
so anyway. So Cooper Kupp is interesting in his 2 playoff games. He's had 5 for 60 and 4 for 36, 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show if it shows his targets.
While you look that up, for MVP, I like to take some stabs at some defensive players just randomly. Thing like Milton Williams.
By the way, I was just going to mention Milton Williams. Yeah. I have not seen that prop yet, but I would love to see Milton Williams score a touchdown, kind of like a takeoff on the refrigerator. Didn't we talk about that? Didn't you call him instead of the refrigerator, you called him the freezer?
The fridge.
The fridge. You called him, I think, the freezer or something.
The freezer. Yeah. Well, yeah.
You want to know another? One that's an interesting one, and again, it's a non-quarterback, but Stephon Diggs at 50 to 1.
Okay.
Don't know if I'll play it, but I'll certainly think about it.
Yeah. I think someone like Milton Williams 200 to 1. Robert Spillane's not listed here, but I think he's 250 to 1 on DraftKings. Someone who can either fall on the quarterback or get a touchdown if it's a low scoring game.
What I do not see here on Westgate, and I'm surprised, is the field. Well, no, I guess you can't have the. Well, no, your field would be anybody who's not listed.
Right. And it's surprisingly
Hunter Henry, 100-1. How does Seattle do against tight ends?
Horribly. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL against tight ends.
Oh, there's your 100-1.
Yeah, Jake Tunges had 59 yards in the first half, and then he got hurt right away in the third quarter. So that just goes to show how bad they are.
That was in the game that they lost 41 to the playoff game.
Yes,
because Kittle was out.
Yeah, 41-3. Yeah. However, no tight end has ever won a VP in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Here's an interesting one. Will Milton Williams or Leonard Williams win an MVP? And you get them both in one bet.
Nice. 2-ball. Nice. That's pretty funny. Yeah. So
I'm surprised they don't have the field, which they would probably price at maybe, I don't know, 100-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like someone in Seattle, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones.
Well, you take a look at the number of players who are priced at less than 50-1. Darnold, 13-10. JSN, 5-1. Walker, 8-1. Rashid Shaheed, 40-1. Nobody else at less than 50-1. That's 4. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 players on Seattle.
Yeah.
And on the Patriots, 5-1 for May, 30-1 for Stevenson, 50-1 for Diggs. So 7 players are odds less than 50-1.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, if you're looking at some, and really only 4 of them are at odds of less than 30-1. So Drake May or Stevenson. Well, Stevenson's 50-1. It's 30-1. So really, Drake May is 5-2. So that almost says, yeah, if you like the Patriots to win, take the plus 250 on Drake May.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, split your bet up.
Yeah, I think.
If you want to bet, if you want to make a $200 wager, put maybe 60 on the Drake May and 140 on the Patriots, or whatever ratio you want to use. And for Seattle, nobody, only 3 less than 40-1: Walker, JSN, and Darnold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so it's a better
What I would like to see, although they would get such one-sided action, what would you make the combination of Darnold, JSN, Walker, and May against everybody else?
Darnold, Jason, Walker, and May. That'd be a hefty number.
It'd have to be minus something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Minus 200, 250.
I'd say at the very least, yeah.
Higher. Has to be higher than that, actually.
Well, remember the next odds after that are the 30-1 on Stevenson and the 40-1 on Shaheed, and the 50-1 on Diggs and the 80-1 on Kupp.
Yeah, it would have to be like minus 800.
And then everything else is 100-1 or more.
Yeah, it would definitely way higher than minus 200. So.
And 3 of the New England players are at Demario Douglas, Christian Barmore, and Carlton Davis III, all 300-1.
Right.
Longest guy on Seattle is Holani at 225-1. Yeah.
Right.
No, because I know, like, for example, the Southgate in college basketball every year, they will come out sometimes, generally in February, right after the Super Bowl, and they will have they give you like 4 groups of 4 highly rated teams, and you can bet. I think you can bet any of those 4, and then the 5th choice is the field. Mm-hmm. So you might get like Kansas, Connecticut, Purdue, and I don't know, I'll just throw out the Duke. Okay, that's one group. Although actually, if those are the top 4, they'd have them spread out. Like it would almost look like a snake draft, where you take, let's say, the top 16 in the country, or top 16 teams, or the 16 teams with the best individual odds, or lowest individual odds, not the best, and you do 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, and 13 through 16 in a snake order. And so each one, so you'd have 1, 8, 9, and 16 in one group, etc., like that. And you get to pick which of the 4 groups will produce the NCAA winner. And then I believe the other option, it would be none of the above, which is probably priced at something like about 6-1 or something. In other words, you have to pick which of the top 6 teams will win versus the other 300 and some odd teams that are eligible for the tournament.
Right.
So that's something that I could see them doing for MVP at some point. But the problem with that is they probably will still get a lot of action on the small group of the heavy favorites. And I would have to say 13-10, 5-1, 8-1, and 5-2 are heavy favorites when the next highest odds are 30-1.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
Yeah. Now the other ones that are interesting, and I'm only on page 26, 27 now, are the multiple sports props, the cross sports.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that earlier somewhere. Yeah, with Jalen Brunson. Yeah, that's tough to figure out.
What's the page on that one?
23. So 10847.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't even. Okay, I went by the page 23.
Yeah. So that's kind of tough because.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are before the. Okay. Those are before. Okay. Yeah. I guess they only have a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it looks like they only have 8 of them, unless there's some later in the thing, because they used to have like 2 pages of it. I guess they probably don't get a lot of play. Jalen Brunson points versus Stevenson rushing yards minus 17.5. Jalen Brown, not Brunson. Brunson is the one above. Let me see here. Clippers.
Scotty Scheffler, 4th round score against JSN receiving yards. It's so weird.
Well, it's receiving yards minus 23.5.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's so weird though.
You got to figure. Well, you Scheffler. What's JSN's odds? I mean, he's got to be just like somewhere in the 90s, right?
Yeah, he's 90 something. Yeah.
I'm going to say about 96, because you figure that Scotty Scheffler, assuming he's in contention now. By the way, I want to say Scotty Scheffler must tee off in the 4th round. Okay, yeah. So if he doesn't make the cut, the bet is a refund. Oh, well, wait a minute. No, let me see that. Scheffler must
would be weird
to win and complete 18 holes. Excludes possible playoff holes. 4th round must be completed by Monday for action. Closes at 8 a.m. on Sunday.
Okay.
So if Scheffler, and there has to be a winner because it's minus 23.5. Well, let me see this though. Okay, if he withdraws after 16 holes, it's a refund. Well, let me see on that. Yeah, for action doesn't. Yeah, because sometimes it would say if he starts the 4th round and withdraws, then JSN would be the winner.
Right.
But it doesn't say that. It says for action, for the bet to have action. But see, that's the kind of thing that if you're making these prop bets, you have to look at. Okay. Who will have more? Nick Taylor's 4th round score versus Kenneth Walker's rushing yards minus 5.5. So what's Walker's total score? Did you say 74.5? I think you said.
Yeah, 74.5. Yeah.
So 74.5 minus 5.5 is 69. So he would have to. So Taylor would have to shoot less than a. He would have to shoot. Let's see. I guess a 70. Well, there'd have to be a winner on that one. So you'd have to look for Nick Taylor to have a bad 4th round for him to win.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. It's funny how that works.
Well, I'm trying to say, assume Walker hits 70. Let's see, he hits 76 yards. He'd be the winner unless Taylor shot
worse,
less than a 71.
Right. Yeah, if he shoots worse.
Well, it's less than a 70. Right. Well, no, better than. He'd have to shoot for him to win. He'd have to shoot really bad.
Right. That's so funny. So you're betting on the.
We're trying to think of this in the way that we're not usually thinking about it, but yeah, if Walker hits 76, that would be higher than if Nick Taylor shot a 70 by 6 shots.
Sure.
So Taylor would have to shoot 71 or higher,
right,
to beat 76 because he's plus 5.5.
Right. So if you bet Taylor, you want to do worse. So bizarre. So it's like
I want to see
put on a stock.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Nick Taylor must tee off in the 4th round and complete 18 holes, excluding possible playoff holes. 4th round must be completed. Okay. For action.
Yeah.
Okay. Closes at 8 a.m. Okay. Now I wonder if that means the 4th round has to be complete, or he has to be complete. I guess they're saying that if the tournament is suspended on Sunday and they finish it on Monday, you have action. If they cancel it on Monday and they declare whoever is leading at the end of Sunday and they had to stop at 16 holes or whatever it is, which they normally don't do. They normally would complete it, but these guys are off to their next stop for next week, so you can't really play it after Monday. But yeah, that's one. So they only have a few of those, unless they have some later, because I see the ones starting on page 24 are the MVPs and the index ones. So let me go down a little bit and see if they put any in at the very end. And they have the pick the correct score. I think we talked about that before the game.
Yeah.
Before we went on.
Yeah.
Pick the correct first quarter score. Okay, that's the one we talked about. 7-0, etc. And the proposition. Okay, Triple Crown. Most passing. Oh, this is an interesting one. If you want to throw money away, or you're really sharp and you have a strong opinion. Most passing, receiving, and rushing yards. For example, Darnold, Injigra, and Walker. Passing, receiving, rushing, 3-1.
Okay. Interesting.
That seems awfully low odds.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I can't see all 3 of them being the leaders. Injigra, and Walker. So you got the New England quarterback and the Seattle running back and receiver is 5-1. And it goes from there. But they're basically saying, well, obviously it'll be either Darnold or May for passing. They have Injigra being the. Now I don't know if there's a proposition up there that will Injigra have the most passing yards of the receivers, because he's listed as all 3 in these favorites.
Right. Okay.
And then the other difference is Walker is listed as the leading rusher, regardless of who the quarterback is, and then Stevenson is listed as the leading rusher amongst the running backs for either team, along with Darnold and Injigra. So, and that's 8-1. Everything else is 15-1.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to take Darnold, Kupp, and Henderson, that's 500-1.
Darnold, Kupp, and Henderson. Yeah. Well, Henderson only played 4 snaps last week, so
yeah,
that'd be pretty rough.
This one's interesting. Darnold, Henry, and May is 500-1. Darnold for passing, Henry for receiving, and May for rushing.
How much is that? 100-1?
500-1.
500-1. Wow.
Yep.
That seems ridiculous.
Because the other one that's also 500-1 is Darnold, Hollins for the Patriots, and May for rushing yards.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'd rather go Henry, given Seattle's efficiency against the tight ends.
I wonder if Nick Foles is listed for most receiving yards.
Nick Foles.
Yeah, the Philly special.
Right. Oh man.
Okay, let me see. Okay, Okay, Super Bowl specials. At least 1 point scored in each quarter is minus 500. Okay, they have some of those different ones. Where are we at? We are at page 41. Okay, these are all where you can only bet the yes at long odds.
Right.
Well, teams to score 1 or more touchdown, or at least 1 touchdown. I don't know what 1 plus means. I guess it means 1 or more. In other words, it doesn't have to be exactly 1. Both teams to score 1 touchdown, at least 1 touchdown in each quarter, 80-1 on the yes.
Yeah.
Both teams. Now this is a little bit more interesting. This one might be worth playing, and I think the odds probably have to be lower on this right now. Both teams to score at least one touchdown and one field goal in each half.
14.
Yes, it's plus 1,400.
I mean, I think that's harder than it seems.
It probably is, but you got two teams that have decent offenses.
Yeah, but I think
in other words, you're only asking him to score 20 points for the game.
Yeah, so you're asking for 2 field goals from each team. That seems kind of
one in each half. You're asking for one in each half.
Yeah, which is even harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems more difficult than at first glance.
It does, but we don't know how these games are going to be scored because sometimes, I'd be interested to see if Sean Payton were coaching this game, what he would have done in the situation he decided to go for it in the first half there.
Right.
This is the Super Bowl.
Right.
Here's one that you might consider. It's only plus 175. Drake May to have 30 or more yards in each quarter.
Passing yards, yeah.
Passing yards, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the quarter props because, like, what if Seattle has like a long drive?
Yeah, that's the one thing that they each have 7-minute drives. Drake May 50 or more passing yards in each quarter is plus 800. Mm-hmm. That seems a little short. Yeah. That means he's going to have at least 200 for the games and probably closer to 300.
Sure, yeah.
Because you're not going to say, well, I got 50 yards, we're not going to pass anymore to the next quarter, so Walter can win his bet.
Right. Let's do it that way, sure. Let's make it all about me.
One that's plus 1. Both teams to have at least one rushing touchdown and one passing touchdown, any point in the game. Now, the projected score is roughly 24-21.
Yeah.
Now, 24 would be 3 touchdowns and a field goal. 21 would be no field goals. I mean, traditional scoring.
Yeah. So both teams would have to score at least 14, and and there would have to be at least one of each, which is, I think that's kind of tough too.
I think it should be priced at high plus 225. Seems too short on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. Then they have other combinations for players. Super Bowl record will any player? How about will either quarterback have more than 506 or more passing yards? This is for a Super Bowl record. They're showing props. Mm-hmm. Will any player have 216 or more receiving yards? Okay, 150-1 for 506 passing yards or more. 35-1 for 216 receiving yards. 205 rushing yards is 100-1. Mm-hmm. 7 touchdowns or more passing, 200-1. 15 or more receptions, 55-1. A repeat of Super Bowl the last time Patriots met, 350-1 if you think it'll be 28-24. Then both teams to have 4 or more field goals is 50-1. Yeah, a lot of those are interesting but not worth playing. Let's see what both teams have a safety is 250-1. Will there be a blocked punt? This price seems short, 12-1.
Well, if the Rams are playing, it's a big bet.
Yeah, if the Rams are playing, you could probably eliminate the 2 and make it even money, plus 100.
Exactly.
Will there be a blocked field goal? Will there be a kickoff return for a touchdown, 22-1? Punt return for a touchdown is 9-1. Mm-hmm. Oh, and they're leaving room because they have room for 4 more props because they just have like 8-2-2-5-1. Yes, and there's no prop associated with it, so they may add some more.
Okay.
Cooper Kupp and JSN combined for 250 receiving yards, 22-1.
Wow.
Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs. Yeah, this one is same team, so it's tough. 200 or more receiving yards is 40-1.
I don't like that.
Yeah, those are horrible because you can't split the negatives and you can't parlay them even if you could. Which would be the only way to play those in parlays.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Kenneth Walker. Okay, now they have. Now they get. Boy, they are really okay. Now they have the squares.
Right.
First quarter, first half, third quarter, game result, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Cool to run through that.
We can talk about more of those next week because we won't have any games to review.
Yeah, we can get into the ones I bet. I don't know if you have time. I should probably get my son to bed. He's asleep on the chair. I don't know if I mentioned it.
What do you mean you're going to get him to bed? He's going to pick some props out, you mean?
No, he fell asleep on the chair, so I got to carry him to bed. So
okay.
So we'll do that at some point. And I did bet 3 props. I think 3 or maybe 4. I can't remember, but I did what I did in the NFC Championship was that I bet the combined passing yards for both quarterbacks. So I'll mention this to you now,
right.
And maybe you could tell me if you like this or not. So I bet the combined Sam Darnold and Drake May passing yards, 450 plus is minus 119.
What are the individual numbers for the game?
Let me pull that up. Let me see. I think it adds up. So 222 and 227. So that adds up and a half. So that adds
222. That's 449 and a half.
Yeah. Well, 2.5. So
wait. Did you say 27 and 42?
222 and a half and 227 and a half.
Yeah, that's 450. Exactly.
450, yeah. Right. So I bet combined 450 plus minus 119.
I'm sorry. Okay, so 450 or more than 450.
450 plus. So 450 is the winner.
Okay.
Okay, so minus 119. So that's the base bet. The one I care about the most is
now what's the under on that?
I'm not sure. Let me see. It was DraftKings, so you're probably getting ripped off.
Well, it should be, if it's a 20-cent line, it should be minus 101.
Yeah, right. But I think they do 24-cent lines.
So it'd be minus 105.
They actually do not have the minus. Actually, 450 plus. They moved this minus 123. You cannot bet the under on these. I don't think. It's just over. So they moved.
So you're getting a bad number, or a bad vig. So the 250 or the 450 is probably a bad number if you can't bet the no.
Yeah.
In other words, the under.
Yeah.
Well, the under should still be like even if you use a 24-cent line, minus 105.
Yeah, I believe this is better than at FanDuel. Actually, if they don't have it at FanDuel, but the 500 at least is better at FanDuel. Anyway, the one I care about is so this is just my base bet. The one I care about is the 600 plus. So Darnold plus May 600 plus passing yards is plus 830. So that's what I did.
Well, if you figure both teams are going to have difficulty running the football, that would suggest more passing.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the screen here. My dog is.
Oh yeah, and I still had the. Hold on a second here, because I had the Westgate screen up. Okay. Oh, I see. I didn't even realize my camera could have been off for like 10 minutes or longer.
Yeah. So
no, because my screen was filled with the Westgate numbers.
I think my dog wants in on the action. She wants these 600 plus passing yards as well.
I think she wants you to lick her back.
Yeah, she's she wants to be in the show apparently.
What's her name again?
Raven.
Raven. Okay. Yeah.
Say hi, Raven. Say hi.
Is he now going to be going to Is she now going to be going to the Giants? By the way, what do you think about Todd Monken getting the? That's a typical Cleveland. It's a typical Cleveland move.
Very strange, right? I mean, the Harbaugh got fired because he didn't want to part ways with Monken. So, like, the Browns brought him in. It's like collecting another.
Browns brought him in. Now, who's the featured running back for Cleveland?
Quinshad Judkins.
Yeah, I guess he won't be used in the fourth quarter.
I guess not. No, not at all.
Based upon Monken's track record.
Yeah.
And you heard Jim Schwartz just quit the staff.
He did. Yeah, it's the Browns.
He thought he should have gotten the job.
Yeah, the Browns are a total disaster. What a joke. Anyway, as you can see, my dog needs to go out, and I need to get my son to sleep. So
all right.
I'm busy on two fronts here. So
do we have anybody still watching?
Yeah, we do. We had we have 7 people on YouTube, we have 1 on Twitch, and we had 220 on X at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so we had decent viewership tonight. And I'll say this: we are last thing before we head it out. We are 20 people shy. Sorry, not 20. 120 people shy of 10,000 subscribers on this
Oh, that's
channel.
nice.
Yeah, it would be great so to get that before the Super Bowl. Hopefully, you guys are watching. Please subscribe if you are not, to help us get there. Would really appreciate it.
You know what? Next week we should do an over/under on how many times my camera will go out.
Exactly. Put that on the sports books. And
I can't believe we're approaching 3 hours again.
I know. with no games this time.
And we basically stuck strictly to football.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we didn't really deviate.
Yeah. By the way, I assume you're doing the show with Evan tomorrow and Tom on Friday, or?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So that's the plan. And I'll preview this. Tom has a juicy NHL future for us. He texted me and said that he's really excited about this Stanley Cup winner future that he has. So I'm eager to
Don't tell me he's going to say Ottawa. Well, you don't know who it is yet.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out on Friday. I'm eager to hear it. He said it's a big number too. So he said it's a big number. So hopefully it's a winner, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. But anyway, I should go and put my son to bed and take my dog out. So,
and by next week at this time, I will have made my decision on who I like, and also probably have a whole bunch of prop bets in hand.
Yeah. We'll discuss some as well. So,
yep.
And we'll talk about the winner. So, Andy, always great to do this with you. Please check out thelogicalapproach.com, so you can see on the screen here. And please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. And thanks, guys, for watching, commenting. Really appreciate it. Andy, looking forward to next week and diving into who we like in the Super Bowl.
I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. I guess I'm going to have to watch reruns of NFL Network games of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Although, don't they usually show like full telecasts of all prior Super Bowls at some point?
Yeah, they usually do. Yeah. I like those. Those are always fun. So maybe we'll tune into that.
I want to take a look at Super Bowl III because I was at that game and I never got to see it on TV.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's the Jets.
Yeah, that'd be a cool watch. All right, guys. I hope you have a great night, and we will talk to you. I'll be back tomorrow with Evan, and then Tom on Friday, and then next week as always. So once again, guys, have a great night, and I'll talk to you later.